Welcome back to the PML, guys. I'm Fawn, now on the desk with Gore.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. This is actually, I think, that matchup, first off, went completely different than I expected coming into today.
Right.
And this matchup has, I think, the exact same potential.
Yeah. I mean, Sour Team and All Business, both extremely good teams, just well-rounded players, very, very good. Perdo, Sheepa, just Uber's Payday, like so many good people on Sour Team as well as All Business.
And I think the thing for this match to look at is, like, Sour Team is impossibly good.
Right.
And right now, I think they're overcomable, I guess is the best way to word it. Like, they can be beaten, they can be taken down, but they're kind of the top dogs in the region with the way things have been going. Penta kind of falling off for the first couple of weeks brings them down, but they're looking like they're going to fight back up. And again, Europe, I think, is more contested than we've had all year, which is saying something because it's been pretty contested all year. But now we're starting to look at it like Sour Team, in my mind, for this week are like the must-win for All Business to solidify yourself as we can be a top team in Europe, and people have to pay attention to us.
Now, in situations like All Business, like the game it was that was just played, Penta versus OTP. OTP, I believe, did beat All Business previously in the minor league, and so because of that, I'm really, really curious to see how All Business come back the second go-around for their other matches to see how they've adapted.
And that's the biggest thing right now. It just feels like, and is the case, that everyone kind of seems to have beaten everyone else. Like, All Business, Penta off to a rough start, but based on that last match, again, looking at Penta, they're not going to be on this rough start for long. And I think Sour Team were able to kind of get the things started on the right foot because they came in with a comfortable roster. They knew what they were doing, and they have a lot of veterans on the team, and like a lot of history playing the game. But it's just one of those things. Everyone's stepping up. I think every week it's getting closer. This is All Business's chance to shine.
100%. I think we're going to take a look at the map bans real quick to see what these teams have in store for us right now. We have Bazaar and Frog Isle. First two maps it is that are actually banned for both teams. And the last two are Ascension Peak and Stone Keep as well. Now, I see Stone Keep banned a little bit, Ascension Peak a little bit more than that. Now, I'm a little bit curious as to why, not necessarily people don't like playing on Stone Keep, but why is it that we see these bans for Stone Keep specifically?
Well, some of them are going to be coming through. Stone Keep is actually bigger, I think, in Europe. A lot of teams like Navi loves playing it, and IP love playing it. Like, there's a lot of European teams that really, really love Stone Keep is like one trend I've kind of noticed. But it's also, I would put it in there with like Jag Falls as one of those maps that you never truly know what can happen when you come into the map, and you don't know exactly what draft you're going to end up against. And there's just enough strategies that work on it that it's almost dangerous to go there if you don't have an immediate plan.
Right, exactly. I agree with that. We're going to take a look at the very first map pick as well. You see that it is Ice Spice. Now, this is not something that you see first picked.
Not often.
No,
unless you're watching a Renegade set.
Right, right, exactly, yeah. They feel comfortable on Ice Spice. Since this is the first map, I could imagine that we'll see a lot of characters that have emphasis on the mid-fight will be able to carry into late game with this momentum as well.
And, you know, you were asking me actually right before this, we were talking about, like, maps, where can Eevee be played, where is she going to be avoided? This is one of those maps where I think Eevee might be avoided, right? But it's an interesting thing to go through because flanks on this map, it's such an interesting dynamic for them because sometimes you could see them show up and do a ton. We've seen Koga on this map. I don't think it might have either been way early this year, maybe towards the end of last year, and he came through and just blew everyone out of the water. It had to have been last fall because I remember Splice playing it. And it was really, really cool. That was a fluke. Like, that was a one instant moment that happened, and it just hasn't replicated itself really anywhere.
Yeah, Pip is locked in first for Sour Team. Khan is followed up, but Torvald, Willow, Atlas, Makoa are all gone. Makes a lot of sense to me. Ash is being picked. Now, this is a common duo that we see. The Khan, the Ash. Ash with her sustainability, the overpower being so strong, as well as Khan's battle shout giving him a little bit of immunity as well. It means a lot for AB, aka All Business, to have in such a midpoint fight-centered map.
And it's a lot of control that goes not only around the mid, but it can go cliffside and it can go up onto the high ground on either side. Like, no matter what, you're kind of controlling the fight. Khan is obviously really good to overpower people off the edge. If you want to send him to the point and Ash over to the side, she has kinetic burst to knock people off the edge. You have assert dominance to be able to control the point. Like, there's a lot of control that comes from those two. You're lacking, I think, the same survivability that Inara and Barik have, but at the same time, you're giving it up for more aggressive play, and a zone on Ice Mines can honestly be a point win.
Right, exactly. Tyra is locked in, though, and I can understand that because having the Hunter's Party, being able to use that on both Drogos or any target that's like high mobility, and I do see the Ying as well. I do like that a lot. I'm seeing this a lot in situations where people are taking Ying for the sustainability on Ice Mines. I feel like that's real.
Why, hello there, Terminus.
I don't think I see you today, Terminus.
It's not a console league day. So
no, it's definitely. Yeah,
I know that's really where things like I've been starting to break down.
Right.
This is actually really interesting to see Terminus and Fernando locked in. I mean, admittedly in tiers, kind of lower end front lines as of 100%. Right now. So I want to see what Sour Team are planning on doing with this Terminus. But it also leaves Inara Barik. Like, if you want to go triple frontline for all business, this is a composition that could really do it.
Right.
And with the Tyra mark on there, they have that ability. Go for the Maeve instead. But I think, honestly, she goes through shields. She can deal damage and get rid of Fernando as well. Like, there's a lot of bonuses and kind of takedowns for both sides here.
Yeah, they have to be pretty careful how they approach this.
For a loop.
Yeah, I am too. I'm seeing... I don't know what I'm seeing. We're living in 2019. They're living in like 2045 right now in terms of Sour Team. Both teams are locked though. These are the official teams. We're gonna throw it right down to the casters for game 1.
Very interesting, but I think that you can pull it off on Ice Mines. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. I was actually going to say.
Nando, Term, Grover, Pip. Yeah. I mean, it looks scuffed on the surface.
No, because what I was going to say was all business have a Paladins draft.
Yeah.
Sour Team have an Ice Mines draft.
Yeah,
they have a draft that is just for this map.
Yeah, it might look a little scuffed on the surface, but I think there's something here.
The synergies are there.
Yeah, they did this. They did this last week too with the Rampant Blooming Grover with Perdo and the Mega Potion Pip on Ineffable Ice. That might have been Ice Mines too. I don't know too many other maps where you'd want to run something like that. But definitely the name of the game here is sustain for Sour Team. Keep the Strogos live long enough, and he's just going to be able to start dragon punching people off the field. All business, more standard, still solid in its own rights. Not nearly as deathbally as the Sour Team composition. I'm
kind of glad we're watching Midari here, though, because he was the question mark here for me. And wow, they really are deathbally. But both tanks have a way to cleanse caught, so they have ways to get re-healed by these double kind of strong healers. Tutu knocked in by the combustible early. Has used Commander's Grab to get out. Good reset there, but still really slow start to this fight.
Yeah, just so much sustain across the board. Let's pull up the healing charts and just see what happens to Grover as this fight progresses on. Ying's actually managed to keep ahead of him. Uber Spade, he will find the first blood. Sour Team strikes first. Sheepa calls off the aggression, I think, at the perfect time. Shield goes up. He's just buying this hallway. It is his. Nobody else comes through. The Fire Spit will come through to make sure of that. Plenty of healing from this Ying, but it is all Sour Team on the objective.
How are you going to get through this choke point with all this damage? Crossfire is one way to do it, but hard countered immediately by the Whirlwind. Too much sustain on the point. Ash can't really get in. Khan gets in on the side.
Wow.
But first pick, though, Perdo, that healing down is going to equalize things a lot.
My goodness gracious. Dragon Punch, Crossfire, Whirlwind. It's all hitting the wall. Illusory Rift comes out to play. And Evil Mojo was used as well. I'm not sure if that even got the kill. 99% for Sour Team, but the dust begins to settle, and it is all business that stands tall.
The weakness of those tanks that they have, I mean, their ultimates are great.
That was fun.
They don't charge fast. Those ults don't charge fast.
No.
Mortal just up now, but is anyone even in position to go to the touch here? He's going to have to, but he gets grabbed in the middle, and Vortex stunned. What a play by them. Perdo has to feed for it, but that's going to make things go right to all business, I think.
Yikes. Ideally, you had Reanimate Terminus there instead of Immortal Fernando. He didn't even get there for the touch. Sour Team grabbed the first, or excuse me, All Business grabbed the first objective. After what was a nice takeback. I mean, that was a colossal lead out of the gate. Sour Team really, controlled the map well, popped the first couple of ultimates, but All Business kept their eyes on the prize, and they're back in it.
I mean, look at the ult charge. They already have another Crossfire. The fact that it's going that fast, it really just shows the power of how much damage Tyra is doing here. Displacement, though. Uber Spady here. Getting a lot. They're pushing back the Ash. Evil Mojo, a bunch of ultimates coming in again. Crossfire, Evil Mojo. The Assert Dominance, I think. No, sorry. Did not land there. CC'd, I believe, but still resetting here. Unbe's on the cart, but gets crippled out. He's not going to be able to contest for too long.
For one so far. Bannister up and over the top. Has to reload. Not a ton of damage going to be coming out onto Ineffable. Maeve will see to that as she comes ripping around the corner. Grabs the kill. Terminus is marked up. She's chasing him down. A couple more daggers would do it. The dagger is there. Street Justice as well. Potential to execute through the Terminus Power Siphon as well as Nando Shield.
That must be why they picked it, because Maeve was their last pick, so it is solid for that. If they don't have the Wrecker online, though, they can cleanse Claw in time to get that Pit Mega Potion heal before they can do anything, but that Vortex grip is so brutal. They have to get Resiliences online. If they don't, all business are just going to snowball this.
Oh, Reanimate is ready to go, but the cart was just so close. There's no point in even trying. A couple morale boosts coming out. One question I had for you is, you play a decent amount of Terminus. I actually remember on the Terminus for launch, I played against you a lot.
Yes. I had a level 10 Terminus on the PTS with the old XP.
Oh, baby.
Yeah,
a
that's
real,
a lot of Terminus.
A real grinder.
And I actually wanted to mention his loadout, too, because I believe he should be running probably Necromantic, the Terminus loadout. Necromantic Might 5, Reset 4, actually. Okay, so Necro 5, Reset 4, and then he has a little bit more in his Sustain. So Hulking Monstrosity 3, the Rejuve card. But Abomination is the best new card for Terminus, straight up.
Okay.
Because if you get all your charges and then reset, you get 25%. If you have it at 5, you get 25%
is it
of
5
your Siphon
Calamity
back.
Blasts
Yes.
at full charge?
Because at 0 charge, it's 1.
Yeah.
So just 4 extra. So if you get all of it and hit it all, not only are you bursting them for 1750 damage, you're also getting 25% of the only thing that makes you good back.
Damn, don't say that too loud. He might hear you. Reanimate is ready to go this time around. We get to kind of see why they picked Terminus here on Ice Mines. He's just going to wiggle on the point for as long as he possibly can. Overpower, he's going to miss. So will Dragon Punch here. So Null and Void, both ultimates return to 30% charge. The Evil Mojo is good. Fried 1, looking to fry the 2nd. It looks like Ash will pop out for the time being. Lot is hitting the wall right now. It's the same story. Sour Team 93% ahead of the pack. Can they hold out long enough to just capture this payload outright? It looks like the answer is a resounding yes.
Honestly, that was on the back of Uberspadi's Dragon Punch. He didn't kill a single thing, but everybody backed up to the choke, and they were like, all right, guys, we lived. Let's go back into every single ultimate they possibly could not want to see. So good start by them. Dragon Punches don't always need to find kills.
Yeah.
I say that to you, my teammates who might flame me if when I don't get them, but they don't always need to find it, man. Just that zoning is enough sometimes.
Especially here on Ice Mines, you can see the value. There's really only one way in, one way out. Characters like Terminus, Fernando, Pip, all become so valuable at holding the one hallway that everyone's looking to traverse to enter onto the objective. And my question earlier was, if you're playing around Street Justice as Terminus, as Fernando, is the adjustment you make to just shield earlier?
Yeah, just before 35% HP, most of the time, especially if the Maeve is close. You can kind of play it a little looser if you know she's on the other side of the map, but Maeve can cross it so fast, usually it's better safe than sorry. I will say I probably have 1 or 2 deaths to the Maeve before I finally figured out huge Evil Mojo, though, coming in. What a quick flip for Sour.
And that is the Evil Mojo that post-resilience, you're still dying.
Oh, yeah.
That is sub 1 second for sure, and that's what's so critical. You need to be able to, that's how you keep that ultimate useful through the late game.
That's when it's an executional, right? Like you say, you look at Overpower at Dragon Punch, you're thinking, oh, that's the insta-kill ult. But Evil Mojo is too if you're communicating it well. If you're saying, hey, I'm looking for this in this spot, your whole team has all their eyes there, that's when the kills are going to come in.
Very, very quick. Firing back 1 pick apiece. Street Justice through the Fernando shield. That's the interaction we've been highlighting and talking about, put on display for you nicely. William Birkin is backpedaling away with the anti-field up. Reanimate, doubt it's coming through here. You mentioned it's an extremely slow charging ultimate.
Yeah. It can be. I mean, as long as you're getting good damage, you can charge it a little bit faster. But these players, they're not really going to be feeding your Siphon too much unless you're low on HP already. In that case, it doesn't really matter. You're probably not even going to get all your charges off. Anyway, I wanted to point out an interaction, actually. I wanted to know if I could see Shiva's loadout, because I wanted to see what level of brand he has. Shiva on the Nando.
Fernando loadout.
Yeah, on the Nando loadout. If he has brand, he's not running brand. That's actually shocking to me, because I think it'd be great in this matchup against the Ying. The Fireball heal stacks on those clones, so if you can get like 4 hits 1, that you can heal yourself for 1,600. So I personally like that card, but he's using Rejuvenate instead. It definitely is more consistent against Cauterize.
Well, overtime is started here. Dragon Punch kind of scares everyone off the objective. Fire Spit connects onto 2. Tyra extremely low, brought down by Grover in the back line. Overtime still burning here. Sour Team looking for the conversion just to tie up the game. The defensive point for all business is still on the line. Nice Fire Spit there. Grabs the kill on a Madara. Salvo primed, ready to the wall. But there's no target waiting for it. And I think this one's actually going through as well.
It's going to. Did we just see 2 conversions on Ice Mines?
Definitely did. Either way as well.
And both, like, you'll see that and it'll be a 4-0, but
yeah,
that never happens, man. really surprising by them. Good use, I think, of just the AoE cleave that they have. It's so hard for them to overwhelm. Once they get through that choke point, and they're trying to get on the point, you just focus all that damage right there. It makes it so tough to break through.
So, just kind of theory crafting on Sheepa's thought process a little bit. Maybe he figures this game's going long, if anything, and maybe Cauterize just becomes too much of an issue for Brand later in the game.
It could be, yeah, if you draft Nando into a comp that you think is late game, that makes sense. I mean, Rejuvenate is always going to be better at that position.
As we convert both ways in either round, they make it all the way.
I mean, you can never predict for that on Ice Month.
Yeah.
No matter what, you're never going to say, like, oh yeah, this game's definitely going to go that way.
It's kind of like either one of these comps, once they get rolling, it's kind of tough to stop. You know, a lot of momentum type of ultimates. There's one of them now, stunning out Grover in the back line. Going right at the throat early. This is the first round. All the ultimates have been available. Terminus taken out mid-play. He's going to reanimate up there. Oh, he almost fell off the map. Huge gamble, but William Birkin is able to return to the fight at least for a few seconds here and axe one way or the other. Madara just with the blinders on. This man has no HP, and he's diving in. Dragon Punch land is instantly traded out. Sheepa's going to try to get the shield up in front of Perdo, but Klosar's already found 1 and 2 of the finished duo. Both Perdo and Sheepa will fall to the auto rifle.
I know you guys are kind of storied players, but you cannot win a 2v5 as Nando Grover. I don't care how good you think you are.
Or Sheepa and Perdo.
Yeah, exactly.
You ever seen the other guys when Samuel and The Rock just look at each other and they jump into the
That's
like
exactly
Perdo
what that was. Jumping into the choke on Ice Mines. And the same exact result means they have no chance to retouch. Maybe they had a chance if they backed up, but at least they got this kill. Now that's the consolation. They took a bird down on the way down maybe from the roof.
They got their revenge on Klosar. It will be another all-business offense here. Trading out 1 for 1 now. This is a turnaround. They might be able to get something going here. Unbelievable. Getting a lot of damage off. He ulted at the very start of this objective fight. He's already back to 81%. My man is ready to rock here. 2 more from Adara. Sheepa falls as well. That's a good way to get this push kicked off.
About to see this convert again? I mean, seriously,
I don't know, man.
The pressure they have here is immense. And I was doubting they may have on the way in, but once I saw it with Street Justice, I mean, I see the value. As long as you don't have to play that Cat Burglar behind them on the side kind of play style, it's clearly finding its mark. I mean, and most of the kills aren't even from the pounce. He's just getting these dagger cleanups off of all the damage that Klosar is doing.
Well, a little bit of time left here. This is sort of that no man's land area where everybody falls back to the base to start fighting. Nobody wants to fight out in the open if they can help it. Ying Ultimate is going to look to fuel all business through this no man's land fight. A lot is hitting the wall. Dragon Punch already used. Evil Mojo is expended, but nobody dies for it. Madara already finding the Drogo. Street Justice just barely off the mark. Fernando able to survive the pounce, but he will not be able to survive the follow-up pressure. Perdo taking a lot of heat as well. I don't know if he's going to be able to survive this one. The peel of his teammates looks like it's going to be enough to bail him out. And William Birkin with a little surprise. Do-si-do on a Madara. Looks like it will calm down this offensive fight for now.
You can't ever count out Term's vertical mobility.
It's funny as hell, man.
It's always a jump scare when he comes up. You're just like, you know, you're in the club, you're a DPS.
Really
this Terminus Shatter falls in, talks to your girl, what do you do? Die, clearly. That's the only answer there.
Nothing.
They needed better focus fire than Evil Mojo earlier, man. I mean, they did get the defense from it, but that fight could have turned way faster. This fight might turn just as fast. This Midnight coming in, he rotates back up. Great assert dominance from Unbi. Immortal to counter, though. Ultimate's going every which way.
Great spot to hold here. I don't know if Khan's going to be able to make it out. Look at Maeve. She's in the back, just ripping people apart. Terminus snuffs it out yet again. William Birkin's already found 1. Looking for 2. Ineffable will be the one to find it. Fill up the kill feed. We've seen nothing but conversions so far here on Ice Mines. As the clock strikes the final 10 seconds and all business starts to fall apart more and more, I think we will be seeing that 3-3 fight. So let's take our final toll of ultimates. I mean, who are you leaning towards in this final one?
I mean, Sour Team using 2 in response to all business' 1 is really rough. I'm sure they're happy about that. Immortal, we talked about how slow charging of an ultimate this is. I want to see this anime res again. No, Madoran, thank you!
Nani?
What a sweet looking ultimate. Gets the kill onto the Terminus with the Street Justice. But yeah, Immortal charge is so slow. He's at 30, so he might get it later in the fight, but Unbi's assert dominance, that's going to charge way faster, I feel. I think all business have the ult advantage here, but Sour Team, they have the sustain to burn through as long as they use their cooldowns right.
Well, Reanimate's the big one I'm watching. It's not turned around any fights so far in this game, but I think it needs to this time. And it's proximity based, so he needs to die in a good spot, I guess. Whether that's on the objective, whether that's in kind of the enemy hallway choke point, as they look to make their entrance. Lots available. Only 13 minutes on the clock, despite the 3-3 scoreline. It has been a very, very fast 3-3 between these two teams. Nobody popping ultimates immediately out of the gate. I think that was Overpower I just heard and did land with the Vine. No, Perdo almost makes it back on with some heroics, but cannot cross the distance. Super Spady will get that clean Dragon Punch as well. The free trade out with 2 more for all business. These guys just will not quit. I don't understand how they do it time after time.
Yeah, what a good round so far against a team like Sour Team. I mean, they looked great these last two weeks they've had. So fantastic by them to do this, but they still have to close it out. There's still plenty of time. Shiba coming in lower. I think they're actually zoned. I don't even know if they have a chance at this point. They died too late. Shiba's going to run in with Vortex Grip. Yeah, I think so. I actually don't know if they have a way. Perdo dies too. Drogoz is trying. He's just padding his damage stats at this point. All the tanks stacking up. They got the OT. Was it Perdo from the side? It must have been, but look at all this damage they're eating. Everybody's going down. William Birkin's going to res, but it's not going to find anything. Rispady finds Toot, but Terminus is now remembering how bad the nerfs are. Can't protect himself from every single angle. Everything falls apart, and all business take the first map.
I'm surprised they even got that touch. I didn't see Grow. I don't know where he came.
How do you miss a tree?
Perdo's Tarzaning in from all kinds of angles. He almost got over. He almost saved that.
You know what? He was hanging by his vine off the side after he died last time. He was hanging off the map that whole time and climbed back up.
What if you could, man? That'd be sweet.
That would be sweet. I think Grover would be. Imagine you're pushing through.
That would have been the most pog vine of all time. If he could have got himself back on the map after getting overpowered off, Perdo would have been the absolute Grover.
Imagine you're pushing through a choke, and then you just walk through, and your healer's like, Grover's on me, because he was hanging above you the whole time. Dropped in with deep roots.
Now he's literally on top of you. Grover, an interesting use of Grover as well. They've gone for this composition a couple of times where they stick Perdo on it. We've seen that before, but it's almost always been Ferocity. Very rarely will the Rampant Blooming come out, but it's just for the sustain. I mean, look at him. 2 guys pulling 120k healing. Just trying to keep up with Xenos at this point, I suppose.
Yeah, 220k healing, and a relatively short game is pretty big, but I get why he's not Ferocity. I mean, it's Ice Mines.
Yeah.
It's Ice Mines. If you're not really going to be getting much scaling. Maybe Deep Roots, if anything. If you're going to run anything on this map, it would be
That talent never took off the way I thought it would. You know?
Resilience is the problem.
Yeah.
February better. Madara 17-3 on all business. Like, I was doubting him on the way in, but what a
he kind of
shut me up. He shut me up.
He kind of popped.
He absolutely popped.
You know, has a couple of good targets for the Street Justice, but frankly, we watched a lot of him and didn't see a lot of Street Justice executing. So that really was just kind of the guy's getting it done with the daggers. He's on point. He's landing a lot of good ones. Getting through those shields when you can is always a great move. Madara had to be everywhere, kind of was everywhere, playing around that damage amp as well. Had a lot of responsibility in this game. He absolutely stepped up to the plate and crushed it.
Big props to the all business drafting in general too, because having the foresight to say, hey, Maeve normally sucks on this map, but we can pull out Street Justice. Like, just seeing Fernando Terminus, which we haven't seen as a tank comp in OB63, OB64, and saying, oh yeah, Street Justice is still good into that.
Yeah.
Like, that's great foresight, or at least memory from all business to remember that.
Yeah, you got to know, everything you have at your disposal. I mean, when they're pulling out that wacky, very Ice Mines specific draft, you have to be able to answer in kind, or else things could get a little haywire. I mean, a little sticky. That's kind of a weirder game. Definitely, I think both teams handled it well. All business is going to take the lead. We're going to head to a quick break, and we'll be back with game number 2. The Paladins Minor League is brought to you by Evil Mojo Games, developers of Paladins.
Welcome back to the PML, guys, the Paladins Minor League. I'm Fawn, once again joined here by Gore. All Business making a 1-0. It wasn't a far apart game. It was 3-3, but it wasn't. I'm trying to find a way to say this, really. It wasn't really.
It was like neck and neck, but it kind of felt like All Business controlled the most, right? And it is exactly how it was, because it was just like the Terminus and Fernando did well enough. But, and Kresnik noted it at the very end there, the draft from All Business, taking something that normally isn't good on Ice Mines in the Mave and being able to turn it into a 17-3, those are those moments where it's just like, cool, you drafted well, Sour Team, you played well, All Business just kind of big-brained their way around it.
Right, exactly. All Business managing to take that first game on Ice Mines. Very, very, it's very well done. I'm trying to think about like a perspective, like just to put it into perspective for the rest of people watching at home, is that it's like, once again, you put it perfectly. I think that having the Terminus, having those compositions and those characters that don't normally show up on Ice Mines, brought it together really well. We're going to see who has the second map, though, real quick. See what they decide to pick. Serpent Beach is what they opt to go for in this scenario. Second map, okay. Pretty much what we saw last time.
Yeah, and this is an interesting map because, again, so like I was saying, for Ice Mines, typically you don't see flanks. The Street Justice Maeve was an exception to that because of how well she goes into those two tanks that Sour Team specifically picked up. But at this point, if you're already comfortable on the Maeve, Madara can just go straight back to it. I've seen Madara bounce around a lot of different flanks as well and play them at a very high level. So this is a really solid and I think cohesive map for All Business to be able to come through. But the same thing can be said for Sour Team, right? It's a different kind of control. It's a different kind of style you have to play. And so I think they're going to maybe open the door to a more controlling and more dominant Sour Team this time around.
I agree. Torvald gone, as well as Genos, as well as Alice and Makoa. What you'd expect to see. They do lock the Ashe first, though. Looking for a little bit of sustainability. That assert dominance, offering them a lot of control, depending on what fight it is they try and go for. Serpent Beach is the map, so by them controlling either that high ground on the side, really, is going to mean a lot for them.
And it's actually really interesting to see. So Barrick, first off, last round, like me and you were flabbergasted because like Barrick and Nara just completely forgot about in that draft. But Ashe being prioritized so heavily, we've kind of had this conversation. I think it started a little before MSI, but it was very heavy at MSI, and it's still kind of heavy now, where it's just looking at what's been going on. Ashe versus Khan, who's going to be worthwhile as a top pick, comes down, I think, right now to maybe team preference. I think both of them have their pluses and minuses. Ashe on Serpent Beach to me screams a little louder. But you can't argue how good Barrett Khan is going to be. And so I think that's something you're going to have to kind of play against. If they go for, like, Genos is banned away, so they can't go that kind of damage amp. But, you add even just a sprinkling of damage amp into this, and all of a sudden you lose high ground or waterfall either, no matter what.
Yeah, that's true. Eevee is picked. Locked in for Sour Team. The Damba goes in second for them. They do lock their healer, but on All Business' side, they only have Ashe, Grover, Leon. They're going to go for a frontline damage combo right now. Leon is there to be able to counter that Eevee, but I'm curious to see if they're going to try and lock in Drogos to try and stop this sort of control that they have. I'm not sure if they're going to go for it entirely, but I can see that being a proper pick here.
It's such an interesting position to be in. Yeah, All Business. That's what I was wondering. I was just sitting here, and I'm like, Drogas would be good because there's no real true hit scan to take care of him. Like, Khan probably has the best bet, but they do still have that flex pick. But like I said earlier, if you're comfortable on Maeve, there's no real reason to change it, and that's a really good matchup against the Eevee as well. It's always really fun to watch. Just exactly what we saw last time. I don't know if they'll do it, but if you are going to look towards executes, going through the shields, you can hit Khan, you can hit Barrick. Like, if you're going to go that route again, you do get control from Maeve here, no matter what talent she decides to go for, whether you're looking for 1v1s in the flanks or if you're looking for a tank killer.
Well, All Business already at 1-0, currently having their teams locked in along with Sour Team. Let's throw it down to the casters for Game 2.
Thank you, gentlemen. Game 2 is coming at you. Serpent Beach here between All Business and Sour Team. Madara has a banger game number 1 on Ice Mines, filling in for the man, the myth, the legend, Bugsy himself. I'm sure they'll be happy to be at full strength, but yeah, Madara's a minor league star, man. He's done it before. He's done it before being on, this team filling in. My man might find himself to a mainstay spot if he keeps performing like he did in game number 1, loading into game number 2. He's right back restarted.
Wasn't he on VP2?
Yes.
Yes, the random VP.
He was a part of the 4 guys that got poached away from
that Elvin
Ovum.
path were just like, all right.
I
Guys,
feel for Ovum, dude. It's time for Ovum to get his.
It's Ovum's hour.
It's time for Ovum to get his, man.
He just got his earlier today.
I'm sick of this, man. He keeps getting his teams poached, and then he has to rebuild, do well again. How many times is this going to happen before we realize that Ovum is the secret sauce that binds it all together and makes it that super special team? Reading the wormhole, waiting for it to come back. Looking for first blood, not even close. Nice shot there, Uber Spady. I don't know how many of those you're expecting to hit in the minor league.
I mean, Spady is a pretty, I think, well-versed EV. We know him for
Big
it.
true.
So if he's going to hit those shots like that, it's going to be a great flip for them, I think, after last game. Diving onto this Grover here, Blossom going to keep him alive. Thanks to the DR, he's going to hit all these axes. Ice Block's going to have to keep him alive for only a second. Barely makes it out. Great start to this mid, I think, by Sour. I mean, they lost a lot of cat time, but they flipped it on its head.
Surely did. That's right in that area, though. 60 to 80%.
Yeah.
That's where you start to worry about whether or not it was worth it, how long it took. Even Sour team quickly on their way as well. Closar takes out Uber Spady. Now the retake begins. Ultimate's starting to creep close-ish. Whirlwind, we expect to be one of the first ones there. And Overpower is just, I have to just change my opinion on it. I mean, it's either he's popping off or it's one of the faster charging ultimates.
I think it's Storm of Bullets. I think that's what it is, because we're so used to the old, like, chunk,
yeah, I guess that's true.
Now we're getting that really fast charging. That's always been the reason. Like, Bitey used to play Storm of Bullets, Morale Boost 3. Like, that was his pub thing. He would just practice overpowering people. But good retouch there on the point. Fear onto Xenos. Can they get the kill? They can. Good Dread Serpent by them, so she was pressuring the point. Overpower, point blank range.
Come here, boy.
That's a play. I'll take it if it charges that fast. Why not do it like that? Help Perdo popping off here. Probably going to pick up Unbe with the big game damage, and wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a great, honestly, that was a lot on Sheepa, too, more so than Perdo's 3K.
Just kind of got in there. Perdo having a great one. Sheepa having a good one. The Finnish duo not to be outdone here. Sour team will grab the first objective of Serpent Beach. Despite all the high ground taking potential I wanted to see from all business, the Grover Vines, the Inara Walls, the Mave Dashes, all the stars were aligning, but Serpent Beach looks to be going the way of Sour team, at least for now.
Yeah, they have a lot of potential to push once they get it, but they have to climb the mountain of that mid fight first. It's going to be tough for them, I think. Sour team have a lot of mobility, a lot of good burst damage. If your teams are just rotating around each other... Oh, okay. I was letting it play out. If your teams are rotating around each other, then whatever team has the better point control is going to win. Normally, it's say Nora, but big game, Barrack sustained with the Domba healing, like, that's rough for the Inara. I think she has the worst end of the stick in that matchup in the mid.
Okay. Grover has to be nearby as well.
Yes.
So.
And it's not consistent healing.
If you lose, yeah, it's long cooldown. Grover's kind of surprised. It must be the passive healing. You just you sleep on it a little bit too much. It's really not a spectacular healing ability, Blossom. It's 1,000 healing, 10-second cooldown. It's nothing to really write home about when you look at what all the other supports are able to bring to the table on such a low. All of them sub 5-second cooldown. So. Grover gets it done the best he knows how. Sheepa falls there to some pressure from the high ground. And where do you want to really position? Is it right, honestly, in this pocket where he's kind of flinging axes right now? Is that where you ideally position?
As a Grover, it depends on how forward your team is. If your team's kind of doing the standard, I would say you probably play on the bridge, because that should heal everybody, including people on Oasis, people at Orange. That'll get everyone. But if you're aggressive, yeah, I mean, anywhere you can do that. You just have to be careful for the Cassie burst, because if they go to plat, that's how you take this on the offense. You kind of have some people under to bait the people out on New Ledge while your backline plays on that far plat area. So you can get the damage on them, force them back, instead of letting them just drop down and kind of run rampant on your backline.
Gotcha. Trying to follow all your call-outs as well.
Sorry, the ledge is the upper area that you usually see flanks trading, where Spady's right below right now. And plat is the back left, where you usually fight on mid, but not usually as important in this, but really important for that backline DPS.
Gotcha. Alrighty then. A bit of a breakdown of the call-outs, where you should play. And a lot of good mid-range shots landing for Uber Spady. Things are going well for him. That shot didn't even need to land. He's already dead on arrival. Mave zipping and zooming around. I think Sour team might just get this one done. They just exploded and won that team fight. Just, burning a little Dread Serpent, a little Dome Shield. They've still got some resources to work with in this round, but they will be going up against the full fury of all 5 ultimates. Here's where Perdo got to that spot. Everybody's scrambling to get on the objective. just didn't matter. Cassie's too strong when left alone. Right in that mid-range, everything is going well for Peridot. All the boxes are ticked. 7-1 start.
Wow, that is a monster start, I think. I mean, that's more kills. That's the rest of his team combined. He has 50% of his team's kills right now, so good for him. He has to be able to keep up that game, I think, if they're going to want to take this mid in this ultimate disadvantage. Dome Shield being gone is a big part of it, because now they need to buy time, I think, for Peridot to rain down onto Unbi. Unbi having to start Haven, too, actually. That's what I mean when I said poor matchup with that Cassie there, and clearly he thinks so, too, starting with that DR, but other things are more important. Shifting over from there, and Midnight to initiate this fight.
Not anymore. Scouted out by Cassie. He's going to be saving his ultimate for that all day long. William Burke is actually falling pretty low. If Tutu gets better position, it doesn't even matter. Madara's already found the kill. So Tutu is allowed to just focus his fire on the support, on this Cassie, keeping them poked out, keeping them low. I'm sure he's calling this as well. Somebody could push this and probably capitalize here. A little battle shout from Khan's going to keep the boys all tipped off, healthy. Overpower misses. This couldn't be going any better for all business. Yeah,
they get the touch, though, in the backline. Uberspady manages to find the objective. That's a huge advantage of Eevee. Assert dominance coming in on the high to keep it controlled. Point still trading back and forth. William Birkin going there. It's stalemate up here. They're not going to be able to do much of anything to this Ashe. They're just ignoring her. Looks like Focus Fire might come in now, but Sour Team, I don't know if they have a retouch.
Ooh, and they're just barely going to get it, but they're going to lose William for it. It's the last time he'll ever touch this point. In this round, anyway, Uber also falls the backside of this fight. It's just a matter of cleanup at this point. Sliding in, full commitment from the Leon. Double kill. I don't even know how the hell she kind of whipped around to find that kill as fast as she did. Closar getting it done on the Scion of House Ica.
Closar 2,000 DPI, 240 Hz monitor.
No kidding.
Dialed in.
No kidding, man. I don't know if he caught. I definitely didn't catch that. I don't know if he saw something out of the corner of his eye. That's why he's doing what he's doing, and I'm doing what I'm doing, I suppose. The wall goes up, and R tries to storm the high ground, but she'll have to do that another day. Couldn't make the jump.
It's hard under pressure, because you have to get, it's so weird to do that, because you have to get the high jump from that little log that's supporting the platform. Yeah, you can't make it up just like raw jumping. So you have to be in like the perfect position, and if William Birkin's on the ground shooting you and applying all that pressure, it's hard to do it like in that situation.
I feel that. Defense grabs 2 frags for nothing, and R's going to try to maybe walk one down. Unbelievable decides it's better to just disengage. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they already got an ultimate out. They did use the Dread Serpent to get those kills. Got Xenos very low. Let's the finish. Actually, Midnight.
He probably wants to go back and spend some credits anyway.
Most likely, yeah. I don't think he died really on that mid fight. So getting that out of the way is good. Caught 2 picked up by him, so he had about 900. So yeah, probably definitely a good call to reset, get that up. They want to leverage the advantage they got from that mid fight, because you do get that 300 credit boost across your team, 1,500 swing in your favor. It is a really big deal in some of these pushes.
Uber finds a nice shot here, and another one, and another one. That's going to be a kill onto Madara very, very quickly. Uber looking much more himself, back on his favorite character, the Eevee Wormhole to the high ground, soar away after his work is done. Surgical assassinations to the backline, trying to get rid of these targets. Or priority targets, I should say. As Grover continues to just eat axes, hopeful that he's going to find one at home on the Eevee. Not the easiest matchup when you have something like a crippling axe that could really, really mess you up in your rotation. It's just been a duel between Uber, Spady, and Madara for the high ground, for the flank dominance, but that's the Eevee Maeve matchup we've come to know and love.
I mean, on this, you can tell why teams always draft very similar things on this map. It is a kind of, I don't want to say one-dimensional map. It's one-dimensional in how three-dimensional it is, and how you're so worried about the verticality, right?
Yeah.
You have to keep that in mind. You'll always have to have a flanker. Great pressure from Peridot, actually finding a deep angle on Disnost, trying to focus a little bit too much on those 400 damage axes and not quite enough on staying alive himself.
The balance you got to strike with Grover. You throw some good damage out there, have an effect with your cripples, things like that, but positioning. That is really the key. The radius is very, very large. You can see when he's down there on the objective, that Grover can influence both pretty much sides of the high ground, both of those catwalks. So I guess, tucking yourself in on your bridge, like you're saying, that range is perfect. Grover, wow, man, when you really run that Verdant Expanse, you can see the targeter out there on the wall. I mean, you have some serious radius to work with. Rocking the Grover heals.
And that's our positioning. I mean, you said positioning. It is really that important on Grover, because you heal just by existing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not about, like, hitting a shot. Your axes are just a bonus to what you bring, and that bonus, I think, is why he's getting picked a lot lately. Because think about the supports that are getting picked, right? Furia, damage boost. Ying has the illusion blocking, but like just raw output healing. People are kind of falling off on Dom because of resilience. What an overpower! She's a tiny character to hit. Sheepa knows how to do it, getting that quick equalizer on this mid, and Trendserver coming in on the Ashe too. 2 quick ones for Sour.
There it is. Good stuff there from Sheepa, and already back to almost 20% on the overpower. Quick to charge. If you're on point, you're landing a lot of shots, which he is. But Maeve is being forced out. Comeback mechanic is in play for all business, so they get a nice little chunk of an initial chip capture. It is going to be a long road back to the top here if you're a Sour team, and they're in a good spot for it. Assert dominance over the top. Need to get some damn kills, though, off of this. Finally, one will fall, and it's an important one at that. Perdo is a high priority target. High value angle here for Toot Toot as he just W keys through the back line, getting it all done. Nice little shoulder bash hop over the gap to claim Maldamba's life as well.
Comeback mechanic puts us completely out of reach for Sour team, and the healing, their health was so poor they just didn't have the time to make it work. And Yambi's doing the jump again. It should make it this time, hopefully, without the pressure from the Barret coming in. I'm not sure if he is up there. It looks like he did.
Yeah.
He did make it. I have faith in you, Unbi. You beat me once, it'll land. I know you can do it. If I can, you must be able to.
Definitely.
There was Spady playing up in this Torturia, being really flexible over here. There's a lot of options for places he can go. Even, actually, one thing I love about that area is you can blink through that little crack on the left. That little thing above that. So being able to do that and go back to relative safety if you're fast enough is awesome. A lot of flexibility for Eden.
There is kind of a lot of, funny little angles and funny little spots, especially in this high ground room. Like all those little holes in the top left of the wall, you can shoot through all of that stuff. And it's always been kind of funny to me as Paladins has been a game kind of, sometimes made fun of for the size of its hitboxes and things like that. But the level hitboxes, like cords will fall through the floorboards. People can shoot through the tiniest, blink through the tiniest little cracks. The level of precision of all of the level hitboxes is crazy in Paladin. So any little crack you can find, you could potentially abuse.
I mean, if Uber Spady wanted to, there's that window back there that you can do fire spits through that he could be blinking through in relative safety.
Can you make it through that? I saw somebody try to do it.
You can fire spit through it. So if you can't blink through it, you can blink through the gate on Bazaar. There's no way I don't think he'd be able to go through that window, but still, it's an option. Choosing not to use it, wants to be in position to follow up.
The fire spit, that's the question. That's what I wanted.
It does.
I saw somebody try and fail to do that, and I was like, huh. And Serpent Beach is just the map, dude. I'm literally always learning new things about it. Every time I think I've found it all, somebody shows us a fun new angle on broadcast, a new hole, kind of weave a fire spit or something of the like through. 3-2 though, as this round starts to wind down. This is probably the fight that will define the round. Uber Spady goes down first in it. Nice little burst damage here. Big shoulder bash into 2 more shots. Toot Toot puts out big hurt onto Khan, and the rest fall one after the other. No ultimates needed. Uber Spady's gonna be here to stall, man, but this is not an overtime touch. This is needing to stall the payload in time for the respawns to come through, and they're just barely gonna get out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the timing of the tank death is really rough, but Ice Block means they have enough time to buy, so Barab does manage to get on, but are they willing to spend ultimates? If they spend ult and it's bad, then the next fight is devastating. Just damage being traded back and forth here. Toot Toot controlling this left side, has to block off the Cassie damage.
Nicely
Sheepa's
done.
so low, oh, they can't spend ults now. It would be a disaster.
Nicely done. That shield was absolutely pixel perfect there from Toot Toot. Blocks Perdo. I think the lip even blocked really pressure from Barrack, so he's able to just kind of poke out at the high ground for free. Love that from Toot Toot. And he really was the focus of the ire, I think, from all business, or excuse me, Sour team. When you can do that, when you can be the guy everyone's sort of, poking down, and you just kind of become naturally the best target for people to want to commit on, you get a big shield down like that. Everyone's looking at you, and those shots, those cooldowns that were used on you, they all are for nothing, essentially. You can really have a big impact as the front line. But like you mentioned, can't spend the ultimates now, but at least everything is kind of recharged at this point. This is going to be an electric team fight here. All the ultimates essentially available. Down to 3-3.
I would say it's either all eyes on the overpower or all eyes on the flank duel on the side, because if they slow down, but then Ubers wins the flank duel, then it's probably going to go to Sour team. I mean, just having that surround potential is massive. But we'll have to see how they start. It looks like Madar actually starting with his team, kind of letting Uber Spady alone, but that's because he wants to be able to push with the Midnight. Back up a little bit, though. Scout coming out means that they can't get as aggressive as they want.
Only one dagger finds a home onto Eevee. Khan up, threatening the overpower. Dome shield spent as well. We've got 2 for 1 so far. All business still sitting on 4 ultimates. Nobody really too far ahead. There comes the overpower. Quick enlightenment. Snap kill from Klosar. I like the trade there. You got to call that one worth it.
That was actually so smart by All Business. They know the overpower is the threat, so they move together. If Khan pulls one person, that's so much damage that's going to be coming in immediately. It doesn't matter who he gets. Toot right in on this back line, putting on a lot onto Ineffable. Barely misses the bash because of the big game disengage, but gets William Birkin in the trade. That means low cap time. Can Madara find these kills? Toot takes it instead. He's filling in Bugsy's shoes real well.
Thankfully, able to kind of bring that one back. That was kind of a tough start for Toot in that fight. Rough assert dominance, misses the shoulder bash as well. Thankfully, it's paid off in the likeness of 3 kills at this point, one of them being the support, a critical pick. Now, Aldama's not even going to be alive for another couple of seconds, much less in position to start taking this one back. But again, nobody was super far ahead on the objective, so nobody's super far ahead now. There is going to be another fight. Sour Team will have a chance to get this one back. Ultimate's starting to come back up, though. The second round, Dread Serpent and Ice Storm starting to brew.
Oh, she'd be getting really low. Great retreat from Toot, perfectly timing that. William Birkin might die for this. He's so low. I don't have to keep up the pressure. He tries to get him around the corner with the Enlightenment, but he backed up a little too far. But now he's dead. All Business have to do is stay alive, and they'll be able to take this, but they want to take it to him. Toot kind of feeding. Can they stay alive with this around?
Big damage here around the corner, finding the kills. Big resets from Leon. She gets another presence, and another one, and another one. Klosar leveraging the loadout perfectly down the stretch.
Klosar, DJ Khaled.
Love it. Another
straight
one.
In. Another one. 50% more.
I love it,
Another
man. I love it, man. Leon is so much fun. When you can get rolling, you're getting rewarded for, the loadout cards that you've brought. It's just the most Paladins loadout to me right now.
That's why I love this game.
Yeah,
seriously,
man.
just being able to craft something before the game and then having it work perfectly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I planned for this about 4 months ago when I made this loadout. Of course I did. That's Paladins.
It's so fun too with Leon because when you get that moment, you just have the sight and you see this fight working out for you. Because that's what happens when you can get those resets. You can just full commit in a big way. You're getting your cooldown back, which is also giving you a lot of health.
Yeah, because of the
your ultimate's built for it. It's awesome. Leon is so much fun to watch. All Business has been very fun to watch. Let's take a look at the post-game stats now. See if they can tell us any type of story.
Perdo, 127k, still not enough to take it around. Damage is mostly in Sour Team's favor, but that healing from Xenost, 214k, still less than Ineffable, but it's on everybody constantly. Everyone's getting brought up.
Yeah,
actually, pretty much even across the board.
This is tough. I don't really know. Nobody really blew anyone else in their respective role out of the water. I mean, you could talk about Grover's damage being a little bit higher than Maldama's, what he brought to the table. I think Toot, it was a bad kind of start to that final fight, but he ended up getting a lot of value, I think, being in the right place at the right time. Klosar's kind of stuff, paid off for him. His commitments went well. I think unbelievable as well. Getting them in the position to be at the 99%, you know what I mean? They brought it kind of took that sixth man, the overtime, to come into play to really settle the score between these two teams.
Yeah, and Toot, we talked about him during one of the final conversions, just how effective he was at locking things down on the side. I've mentioned people don't know about the concept of making space, right? They look at an Ash's stat line at the end of the game, they see 3 and 9 or something, and they're like, oh, well, feeder. I don't know what he did. Yeah, feeder. But when you see him in their spawn zoning like this, just putting them back, taking all that aggro, that's really what Ash is meant to do. I mean, if I'm 3 and 9 at the end of a game with Ash, but we won, I'm like, well, I mean, that's just the Ash life,
Yeah.
And he went 10 and 9, so even a fantastic performance on top of all that space he was making, all that aggro he drew.
Yeah. But again, he got 3 or 4 of those kills at the end. And that's kind of luck. You hit for 400 damage. Like, you maybe get some last hits sometimes. So your slash line is probably going to be ugly. But we see you, Ash players. We know you're doing a good job. We know you're doing that thing, making that space. It's the tank life. It's a thankless job. Support is a thankless job sometimes as well. We appreciate you guys out there doing your thing. Nonetheless, I mean, All Business are up 2-0 in this one. I'm not sure what Sour Team have left in the tank. It's tough to come back from these types of scenarios. We'll head to a quick break and see if they can pull it off. Alienware, the official PC provider of the Paladins Minor League.
back to the Paladins minor league, guys. The PML All Business now currently up 2-0 against Sour Team. Nicely done from them.
And it's been, I mean, pretty contested all around. That one was, I think, a lot stronger from Sour Team, but All Business are able to kind of maintain it. I think the biggest thing for me right now is looking at Europe, not only realizing anything can happen, but if this is a 3-0, like if All Business win this next one, they find themselves a 3-0.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know what to expect out of these teams because like this, after the first game, I'm thinking, okay, Sour Team win the next, then back and forth, we get to 5 somehow. There's still that chance, but Sour Team, like, backs against the wall, they've had to reverse sweep before. And so they're capable of it. It's just, it's so difficult right now with the way All Business are playing.
Yeah, I mean, like, after that match on Serpent Beach, it was like they were in control for... They weren't in control at first. It was like Sour Team was doing really, really well. They were getting the point captures. They did what they needed. They had the lead. And then eventually it was like All Business just slowly started turning that around. You were seeing mid-fights being lost. You're seeing picks happening. Just a lot of good plays and positioning from All Business. And because of that, they were able to net that second win. But you did make a good point. Sour Team has reversed sweep before.
And it was a really good last point fight. Honestly.
Right, exactly.
Like, I really like that. I always think whenever you end up in a 3-3 situation, like watching how teams deal with the pressure of a 3-3 point fight and how they adapt to it is always really big. And All Business just played clean. Well, mostly clean.
Yeah,
and it's just like, it's in those areas where as long as they can keep that up, like that, they don't need to change too much. Like their drafting is on point. Their play right now is on point. They're solid.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Let's take a look at the map to see what they have picked for us now. Frozen Guard is the map that we are deciding to go on to. Decision between both teams. Very, very interesting map. Don't really see this one as often. Last set with One Trick Pony and Pizza, they did ban out Frozen Guard. You see this sort of sneak in every now and again.
It's definitely been more void lately.
Right, yeah,
I kind of
yeah.
miss it, honestly. I don't have my PPL map stats up right now because we're in the minor league, so I don't need them. But it's one of those maps that there's a few teams that just ban it out.
Right.
And then a few teams, like, sometimes it's just like, if we, you know, even in 7 games, we don't have to pick 3 of them a total. So maybe we just don't go there. Maybe we just ignore it. I think some teams have it locked down a little more than others. This actually feels more like a Sour Team-oriented map. It's very good for their style of play as well. And it's just open enough that you can still flex around with some things. Maeve, though, very notably, again, twice for All Business. This is a map where we first started seeing her come out, and this is one of the ones where we first saw her really, I think, explode into the scene and do really well.
Well, the Barrack first lock. I wonder if they're going to go for the Con. Now, they might go for another frontliner here just to make sure that they lock down that sustainability. In this case, I mean, I'm not quite sure if this is exactly what it is they're going to go for, and then, yeah, it does turn out to be that Ashe is indeed the second one they decide to lock, which, I mean, that makes sense, right? Like, that's such a common combo. Survivability, overpower, is just too strong together.
And very reflective of Game 1 for them as well. Like, Con Ashe was just what they wanted on Ice Mines. It's something they're comfortable with running as a tandem duo, I guess, for their tanks. And in a similar way, it can control the map like Ice Mines, but also, like, you have to recognize the cliffside is a lot longer than it is on Ice Mines. The point is more isolated away from that edge, so you're fighting, I think, a little more separated here. So I don't know how well the strategy will translate over, but you get Grover, which is going to be good healing. The downside really is that while you got the Ashe, which I think is a good strip from Sour Team, the Barrack, the Genos, the Maeve, that's 3 deadly things on this map that go together really well.
For sure. Cassie is locked in as well, just to make sure she can get through those Barrack shields, try and burst it down just a little bit. Grover is there to try and maximize, I believe, on that engage. The Whirlwind going to play a big part early. We saw it before in OTP versus Penta, though. Once those CODs come online, it's going to be a lot harder for Grover to make use of that Whirlwind. Maeve and Evie are on Sour Team's side as well. I wonder who they're going to try and lock for last in terms of All Business. They do go for Vivian. Interesting. Okay.
Now this is, it works in so many ways. First off, I love, like, they grab Maeve early because she's really good on this map and it's a flank that's highly contested. All Business don't grab a flank. They go the Grover, they go the Cassie. And I feel like in their mindset, we've got Evie. We don't need to focus on her. Let's go ahead and grab Cassie. That's what they need, so we don't have to worry about it. You scoop up Evie as well and you're like, cool. We've got the 2 premier flanks on this map, and we're just going to play them. You get the Vivian as well to maybe deal with some of the long-range damage. I like the way Sour Team have drafted this. It's going to be interesting to see how they make the double flank work.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we're going to get right into what could be the final game for All Business. Casters, take it away.
Thank you guys so much here. Game number 3, potential for All Business to complete the young hot sweep on one of the Frozen maps here. Frozen Guard. Sour Team have switched gears yet again for triple DPS, double flank Vivian. You think you can get it done?
I think it depends a lot on Toot, because if he finds an assert dominance kill on like a Vivian or on the Barrack, what are they going to do? I mean, once they lose that pressure, it's so much harder for the triple DPS to make a difference.
They don't have a ton of range, even though they have this 3 DPS.
It's really just the Mave, honestly.
Yeah, technically you can do any range as Mave, but it just becomes exponentially harder the further your target is. And you look at Shaolin and Impulse Cassie, 2 characters picked exclusively for their ability to, I feel, anti-flank pressure.
And poke at range. I mean, neither of them have any fall off on their attack, so 1 hit on an Eevee across the map. Now she's at like 850 health. That's one-shottable by Impulse or just 1 more shot arrow, you know? You can't even shake a stick at the Barrack and the Ashe damage, too. That's consistent. That's pressure that'll get them into that 1-shot range.
You can see playing very, very carefully around these lines of sight. These flankers have to be so careful. Flipped up and over, slain almost instantly. Khan responsible for the first kill for All Business, but one has already been found. Likewise, Perdo gets one. I mean, everyone is dying. This is how 3 DPS goes, though. These 2 teams are designed to go straight at each other, and somebody's going to be left standing. Eevee, still full health. Perdo out of combat, dashing around, finds some good damage out onto Khan, but he is still just so low.
Cat Burglar really effective here, because the Mave really is your only long-range like softening before you decide to fully commit, so having that up is really good. Madara trying to duel into Perdo here, but Perdo's going to be out of it. Madara's got to stop planting. That's his second planted that didn't go too well. He got a pick on the Genos earlier, but it wasn't that big of a difference.
Yeah, they got to be able to get some pressure here. As long as Grover is rooted where he's rooted, man, this is going to be big trouble. Up over the top, Shaolin looking for it. He's spotted out. He's healed up by the Battle Shout. Shifa's going in, baby. W key, opportunity in chaos, almost gets the kill on a Shaolin, but he pulls off of it to turn around to try and get Toot, who's already grabbed himself a triple kill in this engagement. It is all paying off big time. Toot having another great start.
Yeah, he's been looking great on this off-tank role. I mean, he's been on it for a little while now, but he used to be a Blaster main, right? Previously for, I want to say, Clown, and could be wrong. I believe he was on Clown previously. Might be wrong about that, but still, he's been looking fantastic, at least so far in this set. All Business looking like a different team from the previous weeks. That's the theme of these EU games, right? I mean, Penta wake up. All Business looking fantastic, too.
This is a Bugsy-less All Business as well. Not to say, you know, Madara, who we believe is filling in for Bugsy, is not checking the boxes, but Bugsy's one of the best to ever do it. Extremely flexible, veteran player. He's kind of seen it all, done it all before. So we'll have to see what All Business looks like in the future, how this roster ends up panning out. Bugsy had a very good first week, or second week, I think that was. Coming in on the Eevee, coming in on a lot of different stuff. First damage here, that's the theme of it though. Cassie and Shaolin have gobs of it. And I don't know, man, these aren't exactly like insane miracle fight, you know, I mean, they're kind of just doing it. And it's working out. I think they've counterpicked Sour Team effectively.
It's happening really slow. You know, like these fights aren't immediately happening, and normally you would think that would favor the triple DPS, but that's when they have a composition that can surround, you know. That's when they have multiple backlines that can kind of soften them up and then have your flanker go in, but that's not really what Sour drafted here. The double flanker can work, but I think this map is just too wide, too open, too hard to engage, but engage is something that Unbe can do, stunning the Barrack through his shield, immediately taking him down. That means no tank. It's triple DPS. There's no way they can contest the objective. It just goes straight in. There's nothing they can do.
That is the weakness incarnate of 3 DPS. When the frontliner goes down, you have a couple of seconds to really find a pick to counterbalance the team fight, or else it's going to start slipping from your grasp very quickly. Sheepa pulled off that kill on a Shaolin to try and get Toot. That was, if anything, the closest, like, miracle play, I would say. You know, he got out of there. He got out of a bad situation. Literally just a couple more bullets from Vivian, and he was toast. But instead, it's a triple kill for Toot and All Business.
I'm actually curious, in his loadout, how much Life Taker does he have? Life Taker. No Life Taker. I thought he got that shout back really quickly. Life Taker's the elimination cooldown, like Leon has. Thought he got a shout back fast, but I guess that was just a pretty lengthy engagement. Started with the shout.
I find, I mean, plate mail never started. I find myself very hard pressed not to grab those cards.
Hope Guard, I think, is the question mark that you can switch out.
Agreed. I don't have a lot of Hope Guard in mind.
It's good, but not great. That was enthusiastic by Toot trying to catch the Mave backing up into the darkness. Yeah,
Can't get it. Okay, all right, guys, go back to it. Find a little angle here on Barrick, wants to flip him up out of this dome shield. I don't know if this one's going to pan off. I have to leave him here for now. But now Barrick's got a good angle on the backside of this team fight. They have not forgotten about you, William Birkin. All of the 1,000 nations of all business descend upon that poor dwarf in the backside of Frozen Guard, and they are going to grab that frag. Grover has just been kind of surrounded. Right? They haven't been able to pick him off. You know, he's the cause, man. He's all the sustain for this composition. If they could just chop down the tree, they might have a better chance at this team fight. Might be their opportunity to do so. Eevee and Maeve looking for it, trying to get this guy dead. You can see they're prioritizing the target. Nice find to reposition. Barrick will actually be the one to thread the needle.
Well, actually, Grover doesn't seem like a healer that would handle being dove very well, but with that card, that Unbreakable, I believe it's Unstoppable, excuse me, that gives you that damage reduction after you use your Blossom. It's actually hard to kill him. He's only easy to catch out when he overextends to get a heal, and then he has to back up after the Blossom. But if he's just getting pressured and sustaining, it's not that bad for him. Unbe tries to go for the touch, gets Void Grip just off the objective, burnt down by the triple DPS coming out of Sour Team. So Sour Team, they're not out of it quite yet. They are still on the board, trading out into Madara as well, but they have to, I feel like it's on them kind of having an extraordinary mid, more so than anything. I feel like they have to have a really solid fight for it to turn their way.
Here's the question. How do you, I mean, in my mind, triple DPS doesn't really fall off that hard late game. They don't rely on sustain. They don't rely on shielding. Damage amp arguably can fall off if you got a lot of people going into whatever it is, Haven or Blast Shields or something. But in my eyes, you know, down the stretch, triple DPS is one of the better compositions in terms of holding on to its relative strength. Do you agree?
I think so. I mean, the tanks kind of fall off when their shields are down, but just the fact that you can cauterize somebody and like kind of chip them and keep them out, they get forced out faster. Like the weaknesses stay the same throughout. It's just how the rest of the team kind of uses them, I think, more than anything. So depends on how all businesses tanks can adapt once Wrecker's online. 2-2 especially, because Khan gets much worse in late game.
Barrick is still able to kind of do his thing, do good damage here. Wow. Kosar is dialed in at the moment on this Cassie, putting people in the dirt left, right, and center. My goodness gracious. Barrick, I think, holds up okay. You know, Wrecker, you know, pops the bowling ball in one shot, sure. But Dome Shield still does its thing. Even when Wrecker's online, people don't often chunk through Dome Shield. That was back when Snap-Arounds, Wrecker 3, dude.
I was literally about to say that's the only time I've ever seen it break.
Yeah, that's wild. That was a wild thing. I want to say that was actually like Hakate who I'm thinking of that ran.
He's definitely a Vivian player. He's the kind of person I would see just like, well, guess this is just my life now. I'll blast this Dome Shield for about the next 8 hours, but Sour Team, they managed to push back all business. They're still settling back in on this midpoint. No damage, no kills coming in quite yet, but that's because Perdot has to find this long-range damage again. It's really their only means of softening them up before they go in.
Oh, he's managed to soften up Khan a little bit. Shaolin gets a good tag onto Uber Spady. Not able to get the kill, though. Healed up quickly by Genos. Everybody kind of clumping up. Actually very punishable by Eevee shots here. Little chip damages connecting. 100, 200, 300, 150. Need to get in there for a big moment, though, of burst damage, but that's looking like what Shaolin is serving up for the time being. The kills are happening. Double knockback from Unbelievable up into the air. It's almost like clay pigeon shooting at this point for Znost. He takes out Perdot. One more from Madara. Not even the Heat Haze stealth necessary. That might be a little bit of a visual bug for Shaolin. He's not actually invisible at the moment, but it is the defense and the point. The defensive elusive point. 3-1 now for all business. All their ultimates available for both sides. It would be able to close the set here if they can just grab this objective.
We didn't touch on this, but Ashe is on Slugshot. That's really good for kind of making up this distance. Like if one of the flanks is trying to just poke from long range and you're eating those 400s, most characters don't really mind, but Maeve and Eevee care.
Yeah.
They care a lot. They do not have a huge health pool.
No, that's massive. I mean, that's just shy of 25% of Eevee's HP pool. I mean, she's sitting at just at 1,800. The squishiest character in the game. Has a decent amount of sustain for herself on a low cooldown, though, so you have to kind of factor that in. But this is one of those maps, man. Sadak runs it, I think, more than most, so you'd hear that conversation more than most as well. Insert dominance to the backline. Doesn't find any stuns, but look at how splintered Sour Team are at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, completely split up by that. So Can they regroup? I don't even know if they want to. They're way better when they get to surround it. Slugshot finding the kill onto Perdot. Traded out for Closer, though, so that's a good damage potential out for them. And Sheepa's going to be able to find... He reloaded with that one bullet, could have done it, but Ineffable, he takes it into his own hands. He has an assault rifle, too, and he manages to find the kill to equalize. Good start for Sour Team here. They need to stagger these kills, though, if they want to guarantee.
Fire and blind around the corner. Comeback mechanic might do the work for them if they can zone everybody out effectively. There's a chance to get this one done. That must have been an accident error at the same time. Ineffable just exploded from extreme range on Frozen Guard, and now Sour Team have to wake up. They have to realize, uh-oh, this one is not over yet. Ice Storm is going to open up this fight. Everybody's so low in the corridor. Uber Spady, can he make it out of the ice block? He can, and he can take someone with him as well. When 2-2 goes down, able to get any of these kills, though. All Business just cannot find the frags this time around.
The sustain, they have too much inconsistent damage. It's really only Sheepa that on the Vivian that can get those kills with the Cauterize, and there it is, one on Closar. So numbers aren't that great for All Business. Now William Berkman coming in to touch the objective. He could go down. Good Void Grip to counter the Ram, but they're still trading kills, and now they have to feed onto the point. The sustain might do it, but too much Cauterize. There's no way he can reach and save them.
Rowan can't even save the life of 2-2. Both Unbe go downs not long after. It will still be a Sour Team capture. It's all said and done. Nicely done. They managed to kind of keep their head down, grind through that one. That was really scary, especially when Genos gets exploded from such a long range. To be able to adjust, keep cool, come out the other side of that one intact shows the resolve of Sour Team.
Yeah, I mean, they've been here before, you know, all these players. There's not a single player on their team that I'm now like, who's that?
Yeah.
You know, I basically recognize all the names, so that shows there. Sir Dominance quickly coming into the back line. They want to take this. They want to aggressively zone. They just want to burn time and maintain their 3-2 lead.
Now into the back line. Unbelievable. It's got some good angles to play with, to be quite honest. Knockback onto Sheepa, but Sheepa just had his number walking down these frontliners. So much damage. Nobody ever seems to be in position to punish what Sheepa's cooking. This is a front line flexing on to the DPS as well. This is not native for Sheepa whatsoever.
Yeah, and actually, him walking straight at that Ashe was definitely the best play for him. Because that shield, when he's that close, it's going to block the kinetic burst. So it keeps him there, completely denying that damage. There's no way for Unbe at that range to get that confirmed damage if he's just going to be eating the deflector shield point blank.
Berto hops up to the high ground, starting to look for the kills that would actually result in the round. Closar nor Perdo wants to take that 1v1, both of them extremely low, and they realize what's at stake. Now the game will not end no matter what happens here in this round, with both teams trying to maintain or even up the score depending on the lens from which you see it. Good for the Maeve coming around high on the corner. The Planet is a risk, you mentioned it, but it pays off this time around. Closar is able to finish the drill on Perdo, send him back to base. Sheepa not far behind him. Barrick trying to hold this one down for the boys, but he is on a literal island here, realizing he's about to be staggered. Heads up to the high rope and jumps off to his doom.
Takes down Madara with him, though, as Ragdoll absolutely just splaying across the map while it flew away. And they're not going to get too aggressive here. The card's too close. And against a Maeve Eevee where the Eevee could, you know, go all the way around the outside and get a back cap, I get that. Way less risky to hold back. And Cassie Shaolin, that's a big mountain to climb when you're on this triple DPS, I think, at that distance. You know, if they can get close, it's a little easier. But this far away, it's so hard to get through all that no fall-off damage.
Whoa, Maeve kind of surprising Closar there. He wasn't ready for it. Missed most of his shot and his explosive shot there as well. Overtime is going to be started. Lots of ultimates available, but people are trying to get it done without the need for ultimates at this stage of the game. First pick is found without one. Second pick is found without one. Third, and soon to be the fourth, and maybe even the fifth. Nicely done there. 5 for nothing. No ultimates necessary. All business. They just find the way to get it home. Excuse me, Sour Team find the way to get it done without needing anything. And part of that, I think, is due to All Business not wanting to pop anything defensively either. So once they lose one, they kind of just like, okay, this is probably going to go through.
It's still going to be a 5-5. I think it's also on the back. I think Closer got a little bit too aggressive on the side. If they already had Toot there, he probably should have let Toot lead a little bit.
He got really surprised by that one. You could see.
No, later when he died, he walked in and just he took an Eevee shot that was pre-fired. Like he kept peeking the same angle.
Okay.
And Sour Team was just like, all right, well, shoot the close arc corner.
Yep.
And we'll get him eventually. And they did, and that snowballed that entire fight. Look at that healing for All Business, though. 230K. I mean, it's been a grindy game, but Grover, he's not the most consistent burst healer, but constant ticking everybody up, making sure you're topped off. It adds up.
Nice shot from mid-range as well to the backline. This one's going to find some stuns onto Vivian as well. Need to confirm the kill, and they do. That's already a much better start to this round than was seen the last time. Immediately onto the objective, too. That's a big thing I want to just kind of note. Not missing a single beat of objective time. They know this one's going to matter a lot. Getting that 6th man in play, a.k.a. the overtime timer, as soon as possible would be a huge bonus. They lose Madara, though, on the side. Uber Spady manages to find the kill, and just like that, the advantage is given back to Sour Team.
Triple DPS against that means they can equalize, though. I mean, they can find a pick really fast on a squishy target. Ice Storm comes in because they want to keep this staggered, but the Whirlwind keeps everybody alive. Time and Space doesn't manage to find a kill. Wilberkin's a little bit forward. He could get crippled and caught out, but longer dash manages to get away. So All Business still grouped up. No deaths for them, really, outside of the early Madara pick. So this could go William Birkin. Resilience barely gets him out of that, but Madara going down first, that's not going to spell anything well for All Business.
No, Ultimates are going to be coming back up here relatively soon. Overpower at 75% and climbing. We've seen how fast that one could become available. Cassie makes herself available, and Uber Spady will cash in on the missed position there. Up and over, just trying to keep these guys poked out. Everything's getting close, guys. This is going to come down to the wire. Perdo, the first to fall. Look at Overpower at 90% charged. 87 for Sour Team on the objective. 78 for All Business.
They managed to keep 2-2 alive, though. So, sorry, excuse me, Xenos still alive, so the healing was still there. 2 go down for Uber Spady on the side. They can't look at him. It's not a priority for them, and they just have no way to touch.
Oh, no.
The tanks go down, and no one else is willing to walk
Wow.
in immediately for Sour Team. And that triple DPS, I mean, I doubted it at first. I thought it was too open, but they played those corners well. They played into their comp. I thought they played it excellent.
They kept it to, I don't know what you call it, like the plateau sort of side.
Pillars, high ground, every
yeah,
team
pillars. They kept it on that sort of side of the map. Really, you know, that real long line of sight there on the ice wall. Very little action over there. They kind of start there, kind of rampage around, and then most of the fight, I think the heat map would kind of show us that, you know, I think Sour Team did a good job keeping the fight where they could actually be useful. They did a good job pushing that one payload through as well. Solid stuff. The composition doesn't fall off later into the game.
Yeah.
Kept their head down, stayed diligent, and they were able to leverage the strengths of the composition. We'll head to the post-game stat screen, see what type of story that could tell us. 4 people breaking 6 figures on Sour Team.
0 on All Business.
Not exactly surprised by that. Yeah, you know, a little bit underwhelmed by the Shala and Cassie combination. Didn't blow up quite as many targets. What we saw happen to Genos, I thought we might be seeing that happen a little bit more often.
I think they were just playing really far away. I mean, they kept their distance to make it hard for them to find kills, but it made it hard for them to find their own kills, right? So the longer the fight went, it does end up going better for Sour Team. If they keep kiting, keep laying down damage. If they're not taking damage, then they don't need a tank.
Yeah, it's a big part of it. Close R 9-9, 12-10 for Madara. It's a close one, guys. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. Not a lot of slash lines getting blown out of the water. 9-6 for Uber Spady.
A lot of deaths.
EV 12-8 for Sheepa. On the young Vivian as well. Talked about how that was a pretty big flex for him. Smart, slow, steady. Finding a lot of these mid-range shots. That's a big part of it as well. Maeve and Eevee, while technically not long-range characters, their shots just don't fall off. So if you hit a cross-map shot, you're going to get full damage for that. And there's a couple of nice ones hit. That's really what separates EV players, how they use their cooldowns, but how often they can connect these mid-range shots as well. For him to be able to stand at that distance and just plug away very dutifully with the Luminary bonus damage as well. North of 900 damage.
977 straight.
Very effective, man.
1,000 per shot. I mean, that's monstrous. That's Moji damage across the map. People were complaining about Moji buff. Oh, it's so much damage. Eevee's already doing it.
Really?
Well, not.
Isn't it funny how that
Mixer
works?
Chat.
Yeah, Mixer Chat's complaining about Moji. Stefan is certainly not complaining about the
Stefan's
Moji buffs. That's his girl. That's his girl, guys. We love Eevee. I love Eevee, man. I think she's in a fun spot. I think Maeve's in a good spot. I love to see the rise of flankers. I'd love to see the return of Androxus, for crying out loud. That's the poster child, man. He needs to come back. He is the face of Paladins. I think Zin's been in kind of a decent spot. We got to see him once in the Premier League. He's hanging in there by a thread. But that's it. I mean, Sour Team stay alive, guys. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with game number 4.
Welcome back to the PML, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sour Team netting their first win, all business, losing out just a little bit to them. You know, this is probably the start that Sour Team, like you mentioned it before, Gore, this could be the start of the reverse sweep.
And what's interesting about this is, like, their draft going into this, it was a little iffy. Like, triple DPS on Frozen Guard isn't usually wildly successful. I actually think I see more triple frontline on this map, but it was also just into what All Business had was kind of like, man, I don't know if this is going to work out for you, but they do so much damage, and then towards the late game is really when they started to pick up. Like, their slash lines aren't gorgeous, they're just coming through, but the latter half, when they find that push, when you go into that last point fight, like, things just clicked in a way they hadn't at the very beginning of the game. And I think, honestly, it says something maybe more about All Business not being able to close it out, if you want to look into that, but Sour Team being as resilient as they are was phenomenal.
Well, we'll definitely see if this is the start of a reverse sweep. Let's take a look at the next map currently to see what it is that these guys have in store for us. You see that they have Bright Marsh being this map. Okay, there's a lot of close quarters matches, a lot of close quarters fights.
It's such a versatile set of maps. Like, Serpent Beach and Bright Marsh we're used to seeing, but like Ice Mines, Serpent Beach, Frozen Guard, Bright Marsh. The next one's going to be like Timbermill, being able to come through if it goes to 5. I just like the flavor, I think, that's being thrown out there. And the thing I'm also noticing is that each time it's been a more outlandish map has been Sour Team kind of driving us there. All Business has been sticking to the tried and true, and they're going to keep up that rate here with Bright Marsh.
Go with the Torvald ban to start it off. Grover being the ban on Sour Team side. Now that's interesting to me because what that tells me is that they don't want to deal with the whirlwind, they don't want to deal with the mobility that Grover has. Those axes can also hurt. Surprising amount of damage coming out from a support. Very, very sneaky as well. So I believe that that's why they went for the ban on Grover. Makoa, Atlas, Argon as well. Ash being the first pick for All Business.
It also leaves Genos open for them, which Sour Team, they were prioritizing it over almost anything at MSI, and I think they're still probably going to look to it. I mean, Barrack Genos right here would be absolutely fine as a pickup to be able to go potentially into the same route they did just now on this last map, or they can play around with it a little bit. You do always run the risk, though, of letting All Business get it and potentially run a strategy against you. It just kind of depends on how they're feeling.
Yeah, it does. Barrack Khan in response to the Ash. Now, I can feel like I'm seeing not necessarily a trend here, but I can see why they want to get rid of that. They don't want Ash Khan. You don't ever want to leave Khan just open unless he is banned, is what it is that I'm most gathering from this. They do pick Genos, Leon in response as well, which that could be pretty good. The Luminary buff, once again, it's no Torvald, but it is good enough for Leon as well, just having that extra damage along with the Ash.
And it's a lot of easy poke already, right? Like immediately off the bat, you have a ton of damage that doesn't have to get converted to kills as long as it's enough to just zone them out. Then you get a little bit more bang for your buck for each shot that you fire. But you're also looking at Leon being phenomenal at being able to shut down anybody in a 1v1. And now that Willow's been locked in, like, she's really, really good to deal with her as well.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard for them to try and contest against
and are unwanted,
Nara for sure. Like, Bright Marsh being such a close quarters map, that dead zone is going to play a lot. Those seedlings are going to play a lot into this current upcoming matchup. But Nara is locked, though, just so they have a very strong point presence, followed by the Jogos, which I can understand. This is the Dragon Punch is going to play a huge role, whether he gets Willow, whether he gets Khan, whether he gets Barrack. Their team, Sour Team's team, is looking very formidable right now.
I think
the gods are watching.
Most cases, Willow is probably your go-to, like, #1 right now blaster on some of these maps. This, I think, would be one of them. Drogoz is just as good. He's not maybe going to have the same impact because of the lack, I guess, of dead zone, which is probably one of Willow's best things. But at the same time, like Willow, she's good at controlling objectives. Drogoz is as well. You can go combustible and control it, or you can go worm jets and kind of combat her up in the air.
Yeah, well, All Business having lost the last game, unfortunately losing to Sour Team and William Birkin. Let's see if they learned a few things from Leon and Claire. Take it away, casters.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Headed down now to Bright Marsh to see if All Business can put this one away, or if the reverse sweep shall continue. Sour Team making a great stand on Frozen Guard. Given the way that these drafts have gone, though, Chris, like, which way do you lean outright?
Honestly, I like the Drogos coming out from All Business. I feel like they'll be able to leverage pressure. What? Oh, sorry. No, you gave me a look. I wanted to know what was.
No,
what
I was
you were
making
thinking.
a fat something in my eye.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa, I'm so sorry. I don't know what I said to offend you, but you really threw me off there. But still, I think it's solid. They don't really have a fantastic counter for it. I mean, they have the Furia, they have Tyra, but if he has enough time to kite away, that's not a crazy burst like the Leon coming in would have been if they didn't take it so early.
I want to see Hunting Party, Furia in flames, and then Furia just 1v1s Madara. How hard would Furia hit on a Hunting Party target during in flame? It's like 55% bonus damage.
It's probably upwards of 500 at close range, but it has fall off.
Yeah.
So probably like 300 across the map. That's enough time for him to run away. Birdo, wow, really quickly getting Closar over here on this right side. Tutu maybe just couldn't get the seed shield up in time. He's going to have to get away, so great control from the start by them.
See a lot of damage amp on this squad. Sour team going to be vicious, especially even looking at Blast Flower, man. Blast Flower is going to stack up, start to do some nasty, nasty things. The in-flame with the Hunting Party. 45% early for Sour Team on the objective. This is All Business's map selection as well. Keep that in mind. Sour Team able to kind of keep themselves in this first round at the very least. Starting to get chunked out now. Tutu wants it. Tutu's going in. He's got a shield available. He's buying the space. Is he going to make it out of this one alive around the corner? I don't know, man. Closar turns this one around. He's still up the... Oh, Commander's Grab will finally grab the kill, but it is too late, man. All across the board. All Business has ripped their way back to this team fight. Triple kill for Madara, and they're sitting on the objective.
The Inara was able to bait them into the point, so Madara just came down from the heavens and immediately picked up 2. Quickly followed up with 1 and overpowered by Sheepa. Barely caught him before he ran away, but he's low now. They have to get in. If they can just shoot William Birkin, I don't even know if Sour have a chance to touch. Great Wall 2 is going to deny it. He has to walk right through a Leon and a Geno, slow in the way, but he does touch at the very last second.
No way. He gets out alive, too, and Unbelievable dies for it. I mean, William Birkin with the God touch there. It's got to be a big commitment to the back line. Looking for Perdo. It is not going to pay off. Perdo shall survive. Uber Spady will as well. Dave Flight starting to take command of the skies here. It is going to be a Sour Team capture out of the gate. Well done.
That should not have happened. I mean, they just let Will in. They were shooting him the whole time, yes, but I mean, they could have. I think maybe they could have been a little more forward on that edge of the point to body block him because he did cancel the dash.
Somebody could have bodied it, you know, like maybe a Nara body blocked the door.
The Genos was there. The Genos could have body blocked the door.
Yeah.
They would have dashed. They would have dashed through him, but he would have had to use the dash early. But we're talking about this fight now. Perdo coming in with the crossfire onto Tree to clear out Tutu. That's a lot of off-tank pressure gone from that high ground, which means they can kind of control that with their DPSs, pressuring out Madara a lot more.
Under 100 HP there for Closar. Very close to death. Ineffable finds Unbelievable. Sheepa takes down Closar all the same. Just like that. My goodness, Sour Team are ripping back into this one. I find the conversion here as well. They are just now passing under the windmill, which is the final choke point that people like to make their stand at Bright Marsh. A couple of ultimates either way. The Sour Team just start popping ultimates and keep this momentum rolling.
It is a snowbally map, and Inflame
like
coming in, so yeah, they're definitely going to. Dome Shield as well, but William Birkin gets knocked out, barely saved at the last second, should make it back, but he's going to be low in the post fight, I think.
Oof.
Yeah, excuse me, Unbelievable getting picked off on point, so not too much point contention up, just 2-2, 2 contested, which means he'll have to assert dominance, and in it comes, barely lands, but overpowered to answer.
Wow.
Lots of ultimates traded both ways, but Bright Marsh, the snowball, it's so hard to stop. It's going to go right Sour Team 2-0. All Business, small ultimate advantage to this next fight, though.
Small indeed, as Crossfire's at 90%. Faithlight is fully charged. Here was the start of that great 2-for-1 rocket there. You don't see those every day. I watched a lot of Paladins, and I'll tell you, that's not something you see too much of anymore. And that was all 3 of Madara's kills that round. He didn't kill anyone else after that clip right there. 1-4 for Closard, 1-4 for Tutu, 0-3 for Unbe. A tough start. Where's it all going wrong for All Business?
I mean, they're clearly getting their tanks are getting focused down a lot more, right? The tanks have decent high deaths. They should be the ones dying, I think, the least if they're kiting away, but they just have to find the kills onto the Tyra, I think. They're clearly getting very aggressive onto Perdo. You saw Tutu dashing in to try to stop that, get rid of that 25% damage boost. So they just need someone there to clean up with Toot when he gets really aggressive like that, because without that cleanup, they're never going to equalize the fight.
Whoa. Dora dropped down to try and push that barrack. Bosar's the first to fall here. Crossfire is fueling the offense. Time and space. You can see Perdo wanted to get across the finish line with everything that he was. And he does manage to stay alive there. What is going on with All Business right now, man? This is just disjointed. Does not feel like they're all on the same page.
But with that seismic crash, he tried to split the difference and run it right down the middle, but he ended up missing 2. I mentioned that earlier with how Ovim hit it. And you have to be sure it's going to connect if you take the risk like that. No one was there to follow up, so I don't think it made a huge difference, but still, Unbe now dismounted in spawn, which means I don't think they have a chance to touch. Good wall means Perdot's going to go down, but the cap time ticking away. Dragon Punch won't be fast enough to make it, no matter how hard they try.
Yeah, 99%. It's going to grab its kill. It's going to get sharded out, but all the same, it's Sour Team 3-0 up on Brightmarsh. The reverse sweep continues to become a reality here. Just one more point would put this game away and put them in a spot they might potentially able to counter-close this set after all business. It's such a hot start. I want to talk a little bit about maps. As you head down the stretch of these best of fives, it's not a ton. 5 maps of Paladins is far not even close to the full pool like those 7s can be. Even if it is your map pick, do you just kind of start to run out of gas? Do you just start to, not be as confident on some of these later maps?
If you're losing like this, I mean, ideally, no. You tell your team no, but it happens. I mean, everybody's human, except for maybe Mutsu. But other than that, everybody's human, and it happens. You're just getting worked up. The pressure's on. All Business was in a position to close out the set, and they were like, "We're about to beat Sour Team," when they've been looking so good. And all that, I'm sure, worked up, but they still have time. They have players who've been playing this game for a long time. They have time to settle down. Say, hey, listen, we've lost so many games, we've won so many games, we've been playing Paladins for so long. They just need to find that zen, clear communication. Just reset, because clearly things are going tumbling away from them.
Brightmarsh definitely lends itself to that. A little 4-man fire spit for the boys. Madara able to kind of quench some of the aggression for the time being. Dragon Punch is ready to go if he wants to smoke that. There's a lot of ultimates available for all business. Our team's just kind of buying the time. It's been a very quiet middle of the round. 2 minutes and 30 seconds from the point of capture to when the round goes into overtime or ends, and we've seen about 2 minutes of that with very little happening. But now the payload is within striking distance. It is time to fight one way or the other. This round has got to end.
William Birkin doesn't dome shield in time, barely getting away, might still go down with the pressure from the Willow. Great peel from Khan to get him out. Unbe had his seismic crash basically countered, I think, by the dash out, so Unbe kind of stuck in now, and all his cooldowns are going to be down for this fight, so this inflame is going to be massive. Assert Dominance not even contesting the card either, so if they can find the picks in the backline, all business is going to be in a bad way.
They're enflaming out of this fight, though. The flaming wins, utilizing that movement speed just to get everyone back to safety. A couple of ultimates pop for Sour Team, but it looks like it's largely, just a disengage here. Nobody wanting to get in any further. Nobody wanting to lose anything else. 3-1, reads the scoreline. All business have the comeback mechanic. That did not help them pretty much at all last time around. So Sour Team, they can just do what they've done past couple of rounds one more time. They will stay alive in this set for the time being.
Lossar's having a tough game so far. His damage is high, but 7 deaths. I mean, he's one of the only people who can really get quick picks onto Ubers and Perdot.
Yeah.
So whenever he's down, if Madara is getting marked and has to hide, Sour Team just kind of have free reign. I think Lossar needs to play a little more careful around his tanks. Let them take the brunt of it before he comes out behind them. As long as he's not dying, his presence in this match will increase exponentially.
And he's got to hit a lot of those presences to make sure that he's doing tiss. I'll be here for the rest of the day at least. Hopefully I don't get fired for that joke. That was terrible. I apologize. Not some of my best work. Fate Flag comes out. That'll be the first ultimate of what I assume to be many. Dragon Punch hightailing it out of the fight. Not what you'd love to see. Overpower connects again. Say what you will, but Sheepa has been on point with those today at the very least. Perdot with another crossfire. He's going to be good for the kill onto Tutu, but not before Tutu grabs Sheepa's life. Taken with a great angle here from Uber. Backs off and allows Perdot, passing him the baton. Cleans up the kill. Again, Sour Team is really just working well together. Starting one kill here. Another guy comes in to finish it. So first guy can get out and remain safe. 75% on the capture point despite the comeback mechanic. Again, the comeback mechanic is just not enough for all business, it seems.
Yeah, and they had the Inflame to counter the pressure Sour Team did. Good flank from Closar, accidentally.
I'll take it.
Get down, Mr. President! Uber's Payday flies in from the top, and Closar finally connecting some of the shots he needs to, but Perdot is there. Too much HP thanks to that build with the bonus, and Tutu's going to try to dash in, but he's in the way. No answer. No way you can get through that. Most dashes are intangible, not shoulder bash.
Wow, wow, wow. So that's it. Brightmarsh goes quickly in favor of Sour Team. Now we are back to that 2-2 scoreline just like that. The reverse sweep is a possibility. All Business, after being up 2 maps, they will get, it's loser's pick, so they get to choose the map again. But I was kind of starting that conversation. I know, you have your first map, you start with your best foot forward. Second map, hopefully you can hang in there, but the later it goes, I feel like the less polarizing the map selection becomes, and everybody's sort of on even footing at that point. And when on even footing, it appears that Sour Team are just the dominant squad at the moment.
Yeah, and the stamina level too is going to be kind of rough for them. Best of 5s, like only players who've been in the PPL here have played a best constant best of 7s. So this is a grind. I mean, it is a really grindy game at this point. Sour Team.
It takes a lot out of you to play at this level. A lot of communication, a lot of adrenaline. You're kind of definitely mentally exhausted after a long one like this. 11-3 for Sheepa. Gotta talk about that con performance. 6-1 for the support even. Great stuff from Sour Team. A lot of these overpowers connecting for Sheepa. Him and Perdo are playing very nicely together, I will say, off the hunting party. That's always a great synergy. Those guys have been gaming together for 20-some-odd years over there in Finland, so you have to imagine they've built some type of synergy package after all that time.
Yeah, and it looked like it too. I mean, Sheepa being able to confirm all these kills from the damage coming in from Ubers and Perdo. That mark, Khan does a lot of damage with Storm bullets.
He really does.
When he's walking in with that mark, I mean, it basically completely offsets the damage debuff you get by having that in the first place. The 30%, 25, you're basically doing full con damage at that speed.
With just extra ammo and a ton of extra attack speed. Look at him just absolutely chunking his way through the front line, through the back line, battle shouting, walking people down. Con is so much fun, man. Especially, I imagine, with a Tyra behind you, marking people up, contributing to the kills that you're getting. But ultimately, a lot of the last hits go the way of Sheepa. Hits a lot of overpowers as well. Definitely want to commend him for that.
The Drogo's overpower at the start.
Not as easy as it looks through the wall as well. Those are the best when you can get somebody right when they think they're safe. You just pull them right back through the line of sight breaks. Sour Team have done it, guys. They've brought it back to 2-2, and we're back. It's Game 5. INAP, powering the control room for the Paladins Minor League.
Welcome back to the Paladins Minor League, guys. All Business and Sour Team now tied up 2-2. We're currently about to be at Game 5.
And it's honestly, I want to say, looking better for Sour Team right now than All Business. Like, these last 2 games, Uber's Payday's been hitting a different mark than I think that was there for the first 2 games. And it's just in those key moments, he's going above and beyond everything that you would expect. And then you also see, like, Tyro did a lot of work, but Sheepa specifically these last 2 games has been not only making the flex, but just been running people down whenever they're given the opportunity. So, like, they've just shaped up into a much stronger version of themselves these last 2 games.
Right, exactly. Sour Team, you did mention it before, where they have made the reverse sweep before. Don't know if they can do it this game, but the thing is that they were just playing, they've been playing really well. At first, you made a good point. They're playing a better version of themselves. At first, it was like just All Business was just completely winning game after game. And then all of a sudden, Sour Team just starts pulling out these 4-1s, like these 4-3s, like these close games, but they are really, really strong. We'll take a look at the final map pick here, though, as well. Splitstone Quarry will be the last map to decide who will be the winner.
It really is a little outlandish, a little normal. A little outlandish, a little normal, a little outlandish being able to come through. But this time around, it's going to be All Business that are choosing it. It's also, I think, worth noting that in the realm of 4-3s, finally having one that goes a little faster for Sour Team, like, that's, to me, that's kind of the key to seeing a team take the lead and take control of a set. If you're going 4-3, even if that last one was 4-3, yeah, you've won two in a row, but you don't know who's going to win this. Now you're riding a little bit more momentum off of it, even if that might be just a buzzword for it. But you closed it out in a very solid manner, and that just shows that you were more impactful that game. It shows that you're improving, that you're reacting better to it. So I'm expecting maybe a little more out of Sour Team.
Ooh, okay, the Atlas was open. They didn't actually opt to ban it. They got rid of the Torvald Genos, the Makoa Willow. They decided to lock in the Atlas first. Now, there's never a situation where I can't imagine you would want Atlas. You would not want Atlas if he is indeed open. You definitely want to make sure that you do lock him down too strong of a front line. But Kananara, I'm liking that a little bit better already than this first pick, Atlas.
Honestly, there's a lot, I think, that strings on this Atlas, like, and how well he performs. Also, it depends on what else they're going to be able to pick up. Grover, it kind of stylizes you into a specific area of the map. He works really well here, but unlike, I would say, Ice Mines, the point and where you're fighting on Ice Mines are very close together, so Grover can heal everybody at once. Here, the point and where you're fighting are going to be further apart, so like you have to decide what of 3 areas am I going to be standing in. You have to kind of draft around that. Leon is going to have to determine, like, am I getting down on the ground with them? Am I staying up on the high ground? Like, where they go, are snipers going to play a role? That's going to be another big question for them.
Yeah, Maeve Ying is locked as well, which, I mean, that's pretty good. Like, we see Ying be brought out with the Inara, but not only that, for teams that need to be able to have that point presence or that fight presence as well is normally when I see the Ying brought out, so I do like it. They do lock the Eevee, though. The last person I would imagine would probably be, I'm thinking Barrick. I'm thinking Barrick personally because of...
We dwarves are natural fighters. I just thought you lads
I've called it right. Again, the second time.
That's, I mean, it fits perfectly, right? You get the point tank, you get the off tank. Eevee on this map, Eevee and Maeve, I think, again, it's just going to be a fun one to watch between those two because they're going to fight over the same flank path. Maybe they go opposite directions, but then they're going to be fighting over the same, like, strategy. And so I want to know how they're going to adapt this Maeve for this draft.
I agree.
And how she's going to work. I think that's just going to be super fun to watch.
Well, I think if there was one way of making her work, having that extra hunter's mark, that damage is going to play a pretty big role with like whether she actually makes the flank. So I mean, them locking in Tyra, great job from them. But this is game 5, guys. Take it away, beautiful people.
Thank you so much, Stefan. Absolutely nobody else who can be talking about it other than you and I, Kristen.
It could be everybody watching.
Could be. Make sure chat. You're all beautiful people. Thank you all for hanging out today in the minor league. Got plenty of Paladins action coming at you in the Paladins Premier League on Thursday and Friday. Console League was yesterday. You already know what it is. It's game 5 between Sour Team and All Business. Splitstone Quarry will settle the score. Unbe whipping out the world champion title.
You don't gotta flex on him like that.
He had to do it to him. He had to.
You didn't have to do it like that, but he did. Sour Team.
Hopefully his aiming hand's not weighed down by that gigantic ring that he won at the World Championship.
He's actually sitting on the trophy. He's using it just to balance.
I wouldn't recommend that.
No, it's broken, but he's dealing with it. Anyway, their Sour Team has a really strong quarry composition, so they can really lock that area down. Uberspade is going to play on the side instead, just to keep this controlled. Don't want to let the Eevee get around them. Don't want to let them have that surround, because that's what's going to counter the quarry comp if they have every choke point spammed.
This is a tense one. This is a vacuum 1v1, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy it. Counts goes into the ice block and first blood. Boo! He ruined it. Ruined. Closar gets the double kill as well. He has no problem spoiling that 1v1. This is game 5. This is a score to be settled. He does not want to let this reverse sweep complete. He wants to make sure he does everything scummy in his power to get this W.
Doing some aim training on the illusions too, just to stay warmed up for when he gets pushed again by Sheepa. Quarry control, you'd think it'd be in Sour Team's favor with this composition, but the Tyra just hasn't been able to get in really. Madara coming in on the side now, not really being pressured. They have no chance to get cap time, but Uberspade coming back in forces Madara to do a little bit of a rotation, but great peel by the Barrack, and All Business finding every kill this mid.
Oh, definitely. And Inara just on an island here, tries to get back to the objective, but it's All Business this time around. And that right there is why people don't like playing against me. Or Eevee. Just spinning around, looking desperately for this character that's blowing you up. I get it. It can be frustrating.
By the time you find them, you just see the sparkles left from the wormhole right before she went back out. That, I mean, in the hands of these players, you know, even minor league, it's still very high skill level. A minor league team just won the MSI. And
yeah.
These players, they can play these champions almost flawlessly.
It's hard to get anything past these guys. They're playing so damn well. 2 minutes on the clock. Eevee's able to soar out of that one. Uberspade has the knives dialed in, looking for Leon, surging forward. Cat Burglar, bonus damage. Can he find it? No, sir. Closar capitalizes on a moment of weakness from Uberspade. Back to full HP, ripping people apart in the back line. It is good to be the queen.
Ineffable rotating forward too, trying to save his team. Doesn't realize that Closar is about to come back in, kind of wrote him off during the dive by Ubers, so he goes down as well. Healing not on the table for Sour Team. Really good forward positioning here, too, by All Business. They have the mines control. They have the card control. The only thing open is that elevator room on the side, and doesn't matter. Madara, Shiba tries to take it. Madara decides that he'll keep it for himself this time. He's the only one with vertical mobility. That elevator won't be coming.
Hell of a tag team. Grover's healing everybody from a nice, safe little pocket down below. Look at the range. It still blows my mind every time I see it. Grover's come so far for so long. Seismic crash to the backline, stuns 2, but another whirlwind is ready to go. And in round 1, that's going to keep everybody nice and healthy. Eevee soaring through, hit scan pressure from Khan. Is it enough? It will be. Sheepa navigates his way to the backline, now working his way through. Atlas, the man, out of time. The defense could not have come a moment sooner. This was the fight that Sour Team needed to win to avoid giving up the conversion in under 4 minutes.
Other than the Ying sustain, I mean, it's only Sheep on the card. They decide to back up to wait for their Eevee to come back, but they could have pressured that, actually. I think they could have put their hand on the throat and taken down Sheep behind that, but they decide to slow it down, and it seems to be smart. Ice Storm catches 2 on the side. Maven Khan both trapped in there. Don't surround to get the kills, but it does force out the illusory rift, so if this fight goes long, the sustain will not be there for Sour Team.
Holy moly, Peridot just shredded Madara to bits. He barely even had time to react to get out of there, pop a single cooldown. It didn't matter. Nice rotation from Peridot as well. Giving the do-si-do to Barak. He wasted a lot of time kind of walking up looking for him. Unless the kills start happening very, very quickly. And with this angle from Peridot, man, I don't see this one paying off. This is a tough, tough angle to allow him to just get free fire from.
They get Dome Shield for this now. Looks like they're going to commit ultimates. Enlightenment, Whirlwind, 2 quick ones towards All Business. Owning this. Another pick onto the Inara too. Khan, you just give this up. Don't give them ult charge. He's getting set back away, but barely in the overtime radius.
Wow.
Still goes down. And All Business, they even saved the Dome Shield. That's the one I thought they would spend, but now they have it for mid.
Yep, got that. They're pretty much going to have Exile as well. Against all odds, Peridot did not get really much for that. I thought he was going to be the nail in the coffin. That was a nice presence there. Gets the reset, goes immediately after Peridot, gets him as well. Another reset and another presence that did land onto that Khan. 5-1 for Klosar. A great first round. 4-1 for Unbi. Very, very close in damage as well. A great first round for him. 0-4, 0-2, 0-4 for William and F and Uber Spady respectively. They gotta, they're doing good damage, so it's really just a failure to get those killing blows when it comes down to it.
And that's on Uber's kind of getting locked down. I mean, he's the only one without caught 2. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that started caught 1.
Sure.
He still only has 500 credit, so he needs to find a way through Madara, but Madara's just been deciding the pace of that flank fight. There's nothing they can really do. Look how much more passive they are now on this side. Exile coming in mid and overpowered. 2 ultimates counted out really quickly. Crossfire to confirm the kill. Don't know if that was necessary. We'll have to see how the fight plays out.
Oh my goodness gracious. Still so much damage to just plow through. Even the tanky frontliner that Atlas is. Trying to dance his way in and out of this fight. 2-2 does go down. That's the kill they really needed to confirm. Dome Shield was spent as well, I believe. Won't have that available any longer, but they're coming up on a couple of pretty good ultimates. Talking about the Ice Storm, talking about the Enlightenment, as well as Whirlwind from Grover. All Business. Time to play with, but not a lot of it. Comeback mechanic is quickly closing the gap on this on the second capture.
Yeah, Whirlwind up now too, but Cauterize partially online. It's going to have some cleansing there. Sheepa taken down, though, in the quarry by Klosar, so control completely given up to them. But what their composition wants to do is totally off the table here. Whirlwind to keep everybody alive, but point cap still going for William Burke, and he needs to go down quickly if All Business want to have a chance. Thankfully, Madara hits every point-blank shot to confirm that. Look at this aggression from Unbi, too. He wants blood. He smells it. He wants somebody dead.
Step back, killing a clone, blinking up over the wall potentially. Find something, and it's just a big back off. That means that Sour Team are going to have a big chance to get back in here. Take this one. Nice shot, Madara, man. He is just dialed in right now. He's got a great angle to just fire away on the Sonar, but he's more concerned with Maeve causing trouble from the backline. Has this guy missed a shot this round? I mean, give me a break.
And Uber's Payday rotates around too, kind of gives him the jukes, but still unable to find that kill. Now he's out of the fight too. Unbi getting dangerously low, but a great setback to peel for himself. Sheepa really low too, can't get healed by that. Overpower spent on kind of low health Unbi. That's rough, and that's out of the fight. William Birkin coming in, but Uber's Payday still in the back line, wins that 1v1 versus Madara. Damage coming in from all angles. 2-2 won't be able to live very long.
2-2, not at all, and it is Sour Team able to... Actually, no. All Business. Snipe that one away at the last second? Is that... Oh, I'm not reading that one right. Sour Team did manage to snipe that one away. Apologize there. Enlightenment was up at the last second, but just the nick of time They're able to grab that payload at the last possible second. That's just comeback for Mechanic for me. I mean, they got so far ahead so early. All Business had to win 2 good old-fashioned team fights in a row if they wanted to have a chance at that payload.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to point out, sick air shot by Unbe with the setback.
Oh, yeah?
He air shot Ubers while he was jumping around with a setback. Because I think he was too far to splash the ground. You don't see that very much, because you don't see, I don't know, how often do you see a deja vu air shot? But he managed to get that kill to keep them in this high ground, strong position. Sheepa going down to the spam from close R-ing. This is such a tough nut to crack here. It's so hard to make this pressure happen. Ooh. Great tracking by Unbe, too. He was out of the game.
That was fun. He's like, where's he going to go? Finds him, tracks him down. You're right. Took a pretty big break. Played around a little bit in the minor league, but after getting dropped from Na'Vi, he's really kind of been on the down low for a little while. Now starting to kind of poke his head out, stream a good bit more as well. It's always good to see a veteran return again. World champion has the ring. A lot of, I think, storied history. Substituted a lot for D69 back in the day. He's coming second, coming first at the World Championship. This is a very, very decorated player.
He's connecting those fully charged slugs like a world champion would be, too. I'm seeing so much consistency there. Great setback. Can't put up the shield during that setback, so completely countered out, gets that free pick. And how hard are they going to snowball this? I mean, they're taking it on the right side, so no left control. They still have the option to get flanked through lava, but great aggression by them still. I mean, they just want to buy time. Only 40 seconds left on the clock, and the cart's barely moved.
Barely indeed. Long way to go in the toughest corner, really, of Splitstone still to break, where everybody is posted up right now for All Business. He can just attack you from so many different angles with great ferocity as the payload looks around the corner, but I don't know if it's going to get there. She put a nice little flank, catches out Xenos. Uber takes down Closar, and this might be the straw that broke the camel's back. As members of All Business start to fall left, right, and center. We will at least see an overtime. Does this payload make it all the way? That's a different story. I think All Business are going to fight pretty ferociously for this one. They have ultimates. There's a defensive point on the line, so they would be able to go 3-1 if they can prevent this payload from finding a home.
It's really smart to ult here, I think, if you're All Business, because if you go down, if you win this 3-1, even if you lose the next mid because you don't have ults, even if they cap because of a snowball, it's still 3-3. They still have a chance to take it. You're not in any position to lose, no matter what happens, unless they cap. So always better, I think, to spend the juice and get this defense.
Well, let's see how they get it done here. Xenos falling pretty low. Doesn't have a great bind there, but pressure from his team is preventing anybody from diving in too hard on him. Leon could have pierced out those shots. Dueling out with Khan here, but fighting from within the range of Grover's heal. That was a big presence. That would have probably killed Maeve outright. Very, very quiet hold here, so that's kind of best case scenario. You hold and don't spend anything.
Yeah, I mean, they spent the Whirlwind earlier to counter the Illusory Rift, but, I mean, Whirlwind is kind of...
It's like a fourth ability at this point. That and Tempest are just up so much that smoke them if you got them. The second you got it pretty much as well.
Late game, it just doesn't feel like an ultimate, is what it is, because of the Cauterize, all these players that are picking it up. Tempest at least still gives you the speed boost. You know, even if you're not getting that healing, you can still kind of int with that ability, but with the Whirlwind, it's just, it's rough. You have to play it like around a corner or something, and even then, they're still getting Cauterized, even if you're not.
4, 3.
Big true. Big true. Now, 5 ultimates to 4.83 ultimates for All Business. They'll have that one in no time, I'm sure. Stasis field is just so damn strong. Goes for the AoE setback. Deja Vu to the high ground, overpowered instead. Unbelievable. If he can just survive this ultimate, he would be able to second chance, but that is not the case. He goes down. Closar falls as well. Comeback mechanic is still in play for Sour Team. So if they win this fight, they're going to start ripping upwards towards 100%.
Every single member of Sour Team had single-digit ultimate for a second. They just popped everything at once. That was a straight-up 3-2-1 go. Everything spent, but that means All Business has so much left in the tank. Exile being used, too. Who's it going to hit? Looks like they don't want to hit anyone on the point, because then they won't be able to stop it. CC immunity in the way, too. That's just an opener. Maybe force out the DR. It's smart, which means Tutu can come in and maybe have the Dome Shield on the point to keep that sustain up.
There it is. Overtime already started by Sour Team, though. All Business are going to start this from square one. Here comes the Whirlwind to keep. Actually, everybody is alive for the time being. Madara blinks in, blinks out. Battle Shout immutes that shot from the Ice Staff. Up to the high ground now, poking away. Adenara finding a couple of great connections. Maybe even going so far as to stagger this Khan would help. Sheepa falls, but again, It is a long road back to the top. This is for the set again. All business. If they can just close this point, they will win it all.
The retake potential isn't that high on Sour Team either. I mean, they have to pretty much throw the Inara on the point. And if DR or anything gets forced early, it's going to be hard. Ying might even be trying to do it with that forward clone, but nobody dismounted the Inara. She will make it in, so retouch potential here for Sour Team. And Ubers is on the back line too, so great flank. The surround is set up, but how will Sour execute?
That's the question. Overtime instantly starting again and again. Madara, the first to fall. Setback comes out. It is all red, filling up the kill feed, and Sour Team again will stay alive. Again, no matter what happens here, the game will not end. Sour Team need to get yet another capture, even if they convert this payload to end it all. All business. They've had just about as many chances as you could possibly give them to close out this set. They've just not been able to do it.
Uber's Payday must have just realized how hot Madara was running, and he's just keeping his distance. And that's what's making these mid-fights go better for Sour Team. We saw after that first immediate cap and conversion, 0-4. I mean, he wasn't doing very much, and I think that was purely because of Madara's pressure. Then you saw later, he is just running away. He is just giving it up, just completely every fight. It's working out. The time that's being pulled away is enough for Sour Team to find picks on the other side.
Well, it's a good start to this offense. Not only they break one of the harder corners to break of Splitstone Quarry up and over the shield. Tripled out for just a second here, but I think they should actually have the upper hand here over Barrack. Xenos makes the rotation, though, to trade that one out. At this stage of the game, those trades are so worthwhile for Blue. They just reinforce this fight so much quicker. The respawns are right there. This is going to be kind of a quiet little defense for the time being. Especially if they continue to snowball this and kind of stagger them out. It's burning a lot of time.
Yeah, both tanks going down means even if they wanted to take a fight, it's going to be very low HP. Even more staggers, too. They thought they could save them, but it's so hard to judge the space you can control when you're against an Eevee. Because if you don't see her, she could just be waiting around a corner, then her team calls that you're in, and immediately she's in your backline pressuring your supports. It's so hard to judge that when you're thinking of where to position as a tank or as a DPS. So that flexibility, I mean, I think that led a lot to the stagger. Yeah, the kills came from somebody else, but that burst damage coming in was just unstoppable.
Well, Leon up on the high ground. Chunking, poking, prodding away. Big damage there on a Maeve. Nice little headshot. A parting gift, if you will. Connects the presence as well. Unbelievable tags with the full charge slug, and that's it for Uber Spady. 24 seconds on the clock. This is probably going to be an overtime push unless it falls apart very rapidly, which is absolutely possible. One more shot pretty much on a Peridot would do it. Small little misconnection there. Unbelievable has been on point with those setbacks all day long. Last 10 seconds. Can this Maeve dash over the wall? Is that what she's going to go for here?
Looks like, oh, she hit her head. Might not be able to make it now. Reset barely puts her in time, but they know. They saw.
Now.
They'll pull back now, but Inari does touch the point. Even if they get this trade, I mean, Sour Team have a chance to at least build their illusory rift.
Almost able to get another dash up and off cooldown there, but Uber Spady still going to fall. Nice connections here from Xenos. Frontliners are falling very, very low, and Ying is a little bit separated from them for the time being. She's going to waddle her way back towards the front line. Not before Madara's able to grab a couple of these kills. It's all blue all the time. A long one here starting to brew on Splitstone Quarry. 3-2 in favor of All Business. Again, if they win this, they close the set.
I love when we're watching the Grover POV, because I watched him hit a crippling axe on the Tyra, and I just imagined the comms, because I do this too. Like, oh, Tyra's crippled.
Does
Cool.
It matter?
It doesn't do anything
She's
whatsoever.
Always crippled.
Yeah, exactly. Her life is spent that way, but really good. I'm glad that we watched Closar's POV on that second to last defense, because the fact that he hit that one presence on the Ying when she was teleporting up actually confirmed that fight.
Yeah.
You're talking about how quickly it was going, but that Ying had to hide on her own illusion to keep herself alive. Because of that, then the Inara walled herself off into mines, and then Ineffable's like, let me save you, slowly drifting in, couldn't see, no line of sight on the Inara, drops to point. That's what flipped the fight, just that one hit turned the fight on its head.
Morale boosts are starting to peek their ugly little heads out. Overpower could be up very, very quickly. Ice Storm tactically dropped on both frontliners, at least providing some lockdown, and that lockdown is going to turn into some kills. Overpower misses, unable to get Tutu dunked in the grinder. A huge misstep from Sheepa. He has his morale boost to get that recharged, But given All Business already out to a small lead on the objective, President, I don't know that we will see another overpower.
Only Illusory Rift up for Sour Team, too. I mean, that could buy them time to get it, but they just don't have enough. Madara really aggressive in the front, almost going down with the burst damage potential, but does get away at the last second. Both tanks touching the point, though. This could be a miscommunication, especially if they get the focus fire here. Khan getting set back could go down in there as well. And Nara playing her wall as long as she can, but those cooldowns are going to be over really soon, and All Business is still in position to fight this.
So many cooldowns to worry about, so much chasing Madara down. He's got all the mobility in the world. Exile is popped. The kill feed is starting to fill up blue. All Business, it was ugly. They kind of had to trip and puke their way across the finish line, but they got there, by golly, and it will be the 3-2 victory. Congratulations there. All Business managed to take down Sour Team in a very, very close Game 5. That was even though it was only 4-2 there, that was one of the longer games of this set, upwards of 17, 18 minutes. We saw that 3-3 on Ice Mines. It was only like 12 minutes into the game. That was just weird. That was just strange. You don't see that very often at all. A great set. Certainly one that will go down in the books for Sour Team and for All Business.
Unbi and Madara were phenomenal for me.
Yeah.
I think Unbi's Atlas, I don't think I'd ever seen it before.
No, I don't think so either.
I feel like I haven't, and man, he looked like he's been playing it for years.
Yeah,
he looks like he played it when he won Worlds. Straight up.
He looks very, very well practiced. Playing the game a good bit more. We'll head to the post-stat screen and see if that can tell us any hidden stories here. 6 figs for Unbelievable, Closar, Toot Toot, and Madara had big numbers. Had great games. Healers are almost dead even, so you can't really call it there. I mean, these are close games. This is kind of how this set's been going. The numbers have always been pretty close. 17-8, 17-4. I mean, goodness gracious, getting it done with high efficiency.
That's as many deaths as Uber's Payday had after the first cap.
Yeah.
And that's over the entire game. So he was really just dominating that side of the map. And the only way they started winning rounds, Sour Team, was when Ubers just ignored him, just ran away, just prowled backwards, the Maeve Moonwalk.
Tough matchups. Atlas, Leon, and Madara, kind of being on point. Anti-flank from Leon. Unbi hitting a lot of great deja vus, some mid-air ones, like you were saying. Loading up a lot of those big old slugs. 8-2, though, for the support, with over 200,000 healings. Some clutch cripples, I'm sure.
On Tyrus.
We caught some pretty good ones for sure on the broadcast. But Xenos, lots of whirlwinds, lots of good damage. And of course, copious amounts of healing to keep the boys fueled up and ready to go for this long marathon of a set that All Business was able to just eke their way out of. As I'm sure Bugsy looked on with pride.
Xenos, I mean, he was just constantly hooking these axes, too. There was one moment in the mines where I was actually going to mention how loud the Grover axes were, because I'm like, man, Xenos is just going. He's like melee range, and then he got a kill on one of the tanks there. I was like, he's just in there and healing full output the whole time. That's why people pick Grover. Yeah,
Grover can bring, frankly, a good bit of damage, more than most of the other supports in terms of consistency. Pretty consistent cripple. That's really kind of a unique ability about Grover. Nobody else brings that to the table quite as much as he does. Let's get it back up to the desk and recap what we saw in Europe today.
Well, there we go. The reverse sweep may not have happened, but Sour Team played extremely well. All Business closing out that game, going to a 5th game, Game 5 set. It was pretty back and forth for the most part. Like, it was at first All Business had the lead, and then all of a sudden Sour Team had the lead, then we're tied, and then now All Business has won the entire set.
And it was just really well executed. Again, just recapping what they had said. Like, Xenos, I think, only had 2 deaths. I think he was a 26 streak. Like, an undying support is usually a good sign for the team, being able to kind of stay alive that. But then you get 17-8, 17-4 on the Eevee and the Leon, so you're pretty set in that area. I think it's good for Europe as a whole that this goes 5 games, just because it does keep it close. But at the same time, I think if you're All Business here, you win 1-2, then 5. You tighten it up a little bit more. Next time you try to win 1-2-4. Next time 1-2-3, right? You just keep on rolling.
Well, let's take a look at the updated schedule real quick for what's already happened today. Europe, Penta, One Trick Pony, Sour Team, All Business, so on and so forth for our first 2 PML games entirely. Penta does take it 3-0. Sour Team does take it 3-2, but All Business actually takes it 3-2 in that scenario.
Being able to come through, I think it was. more flabbergasted about the 3-0, really,
right, yeah,
from Penta.
True,
like,
true.
that kind of blew me away. It's just, it was a rough couple of weeks for them, so being able to, 1 week with 2 subs, the next week kind of having everybody, but it was like really the first week of competition for them together. Now they seem to be able to kind of get things together, and I think that's the most important thing. Looking at them, they've made this a 4-team region.
Right, exactly. Here we have a look at the standings as well. 2-1. 2-1 for Sour Team, 2-1 for All Business. One Trick Pony and Penta are both 1-2, with Penta taking up their first win today, making it a complete 3-0 as well. Very well done from them. One Trick Pony tried their best today, didn't end up exactly how they wanted it to, but it doesn't mean that they're still out of it yet.
Well, now everyone's played everyone as well. So, like, noticing the fact that every team has a loss. No one's 3-0 right now. Every team has a win. No one's going winless. That is the best hallmark, I think, after this week, to be able to come into it and be like, okay, we know for a fact that everything is kind of set going forward, and by that, nothing is set. No one knows where these teams are going to be, and I think that's the best part about it, is Europe being contentious, fighting for a #1 spot going into Worlds, fighting for something towards the end. Like, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that would be the European set for now. Penta, Sour Team, All Business, One Trick Pony, all of them have already played in their matches today. Right after this break, we'll be right back with the North American bracket.
Paladins Minor League is brought to you by Evil Mojo Games, developers of Paladins.